Chapter 291. The three arrows that contained the ice lightning storm had unleashed Zhao Feng's lightning inheritance to the maximum, and he didn't hold back his bloodline power either. The Luoho Bao's ice lotus symbol shone brightly. The small square trembled slightly, attracting the attention of everyone present. This was especially so for the three at the true spirit realm. They were either shocked or dazed. Zhao Feng's target was the 100-flower sack. The 100-flower sack was a unique item, but it wasn't a true weapon. Its material wasn't as hard as a spiritual-grade weapon. On the other hand, the power of Zhao Feng's three arrows had definitely reached the level of the true spirit realm. The power of the fusion of ice and lightning entered the 100-flower sack through the cracks. Shwa! Poisonous smoke rose from the 100-flower sack as it was enveloped by a layer of black flames. You dare! The fan-flying bandit pointed at Zhao Feng with a trembling voice as he jumped up and down. His expression was extremely ugly, as if he was about to cry. Master Bai and the severed blood pirate's eyes bulged out in shock, unable to accept this reality. Zhao Feng was extremely curious. The reactions of these people were too exaggerated. Didn't he just destroy a bag? Whoosh! Whoosh! The cracks on the 100-flower sack surface continued to spread and gave off a multicolored smoke. Not good. The expressions of Master Bai and the severed blood pirate changed dramatically as they retreated. The 100-flower sack contained hundreds of poisons and fragrances. Some of the poisons could even instantly kill those at the true spirit realm. At this point in time, the three at the true spirit realm all retreated as they held their breaths in fear and used their qi of true spirit to seal their bodies. Zhao Feng felt a fatal aura and immediately moved in front of the bronze door and placed his hand on it. Wong! The green bronze door opened and a dark green wave of light enveloped Zhao Feng like a river. Blue hair brat, you dare to destroy the 100-flower gate's 100-flower sack. I'll turn your bones to dust. The fan-flying bandit's handsome face was slightly ferocious. It was an expression of extreme hatred. 100-flower sack? What was this thing? Zhao Feng couldn't help but shiver. He felt that the fan-flying bandit wanted to eat his flesh. Due to the fact that the 100-flower sack had been destroyed, the terrifying poisonous aura leaked out, and the three true spirit realms retreated far away, not daring to chase after Zhao Feng. What treasure is it that gives off such a terrifying aura that even those at the true spirit realm are wary of? Zhao Feng was no fool. He could vaguely guess the use of the 100-flower sack. However, he did not regret what he had just done. If such a terrifying weapon fell into the hands of the enemy, it would be a nightmare. The fan-flying bandit was obviously furious. If he had taken the 100-flower sack just then, he was confident that he could kill the other two at the true spirit realm and take the entire Watermoon treasury for himself. However, no one had expected that Zhao Feng, the neglected 7th celestial layer kid, would destroy his grand dream in one fell swoop. In comparison, Master Bai and the severed blood pirates were quite fortunate. Of the three at the true spirit realm, the fan-flying bandit was the strongest and had the fastest speed. His chances of taking the 100-flower sack were higher than the other two. If the 100-flower sack had fallen into the hands of this bandit, they wouldn't even have the chance to run away. Zhao Feng's actions had caused the balance between the three forces to be maintained. Without the 100-flower sack, the fan-flying bandit didn't have the confidence to beat the other two at the true spirit realm. At this point in time, the fan-flying bandit could only watch as Zhao Feng entered the pathway to the 2nd floor and the bronze door closed with a boom. Senior brother, this brat should be skinned alive and tortured for 100 days. Make him beg for death. The flower-dressed girl's eyes were filled with hatred. The azure-robed Taoist gritted his teeth as he stared at Zhao Feng's leaving figure. Just then, Zhao Feng had taken two items from the 1st floor, the 100-flower saint liquid and the mystic snake blood whip. Of all the items, apart from the 100-flower sack, these two were the most valuable. But Zhao Feng had destroyed the 100-flower sack, which was extremely hateful. At this point in time, the azure-robed Taoist, the flower-dressed girl, and the head of the Bai family were numb with more than 10 burn marks on their bodies. However, they were wary of Zhao Feng's strength. Zhao Feng had suppressed the three at half-step true spirit realm, and the ice lightning tornado he had released was comparable to those at the true spirit realm. All in all, at this point in time, all three forces hated Zhao Feng. Apart from Heiyun Master and Bai Qiaoyu, their expressions were filled with fear as they couldn't imagine what had just happened. Don't worry, that brat will appear on the second floor sooner or later. We have a mechanisms master on our side, and our speed is definitely faster than his. The fan-flying bandit's expression calmed down as the coldness in his eyes became even colder. Next, the three parties divided the rest of the funerary goods according to their strength. Amongst the items, there were a few spiritual-grade weapons, as well as many precious materials and treasures. In terms of value, the remaining items were higher than what Zhao Feng had taken. However, after the three forces split it, it wasn't as good. After splitting it up, the three parties opened their respective bronze gates. The fan-flying bandit and company were on the west side, facing Zhao Feng on the east side. Master Bai and company were on the east side. The Severed Blood Pirates were on the north side. According to Heiyun Master's analysis, the west side had the worst layout and the best layout was taken by Zhao Feng. However, this couldn't be helped. From the moment he touched the stone tablet, the layout was decided. So what if the layout is good? I will conquer the heavens and annihilate everyone else in one fell swoop. The youth's ambition didn't decrease. The flower-dressed girl nodded her head. Of the Water Moon 4 treasures, the 100-flower sack is ranked 4th. There's also the Water Moon God Peach fan, the 3-flowered treasured lotus, and the Mystic Flower Treasure Bible. If Senior Brother can obtain the 3rd-ranked Water Moon God Peach fan, even if the two at the True Spirit Realm teamed up, they won't be Senior Brother's match. If Senior Brother can obtain the 3-flowered treasured lotus, even if a true mystic rank comes, Senior Brother won't be defeated. The most important thing is still the Mystic Flower Treasure Bible. Even if we can't get the other 3 treasures, we can't leave this one behind. The fan-flying bandit said decisively. Back then, although Master had the Mystic Flower Treasure Bible, he was just a step away from reaching the true Lord rank. The most important thing was that he fell in love with Empress Qin. My talent isn't any weaker than his, and my personality is even more vicious. If I can obtain the Mystic Flower Treasure Bible, I'll definitely be able to become the leader of the Wicked Path and take control of the 100-flower chapter, becoming the 9th superpower. The youth in brocade took a deep breath as the flames of ambition burned in his eyes. The fan-flying bandit and company entered the 2nd floor and started to solve the new array. The path to the 2nd floor also had 9 rooms. As long as one passed through these 9 rooms, they would be able to enter the 2nd floor. According to the layout, the treasures on the 2nd floor would definitely be better than the 1st. Heiyun Master's speed was definitely faster than the other 3. In just half the time it took to make tea, the fan-flying bandit and company had entered the 2nd floor. The 2nd floor also had a small field, and the layout was similar to the 1st floor. In the middle of the field was a crystal coffin, and the treasures inside were twice as plentiful as the 1st floor. Water Moon God Peach fan. The youth in brocade and the flower-dressed woman stared at the elegant mountain river folding fan in the middle of the crystal coffin, and their hearts trembled. The Water Moon God Peach fan was the strongest weapon of the Water Moon Pirate when he was alive. This fan was extremely powerful, and it was an inheritance treasure. This fan can activate spiritual illusions and hide 7 types of hidden weapons. It can even transform into an umbrella to defend and attack. It can be said to be both offensive and defensive. Apparently, the Water Moon God Peach fan's power is comparable to a high-tier spiritual grade weapon. One has to know that the number of high-tier spiritual grade weapons in the Canopy Great Country can be counted on one hand. The youth in brocade's eyes lit up and his face was filled with anticipation. Compared to an inheritance treasure like the Water Moon God Peach fan, the 100-flower sack was inferior. Of course, around the crystal coffin were extremely complex arrays that were far more refined than the 1st floor. The mechanisms here are similar to the blueprints from the Heaven's Legacy inheritance. Heiyun Master's expression was solemn. He started to solve the mechanisms meticulously. The youth in brocade released his spiritual sense and teamed up with him. Time passed by quickly. The speed of solving this time was much slower than the first floor. The youth in brocade couldn't help but become anxious. He had to solve the mechanisms around the crystal coffin before Master Bai and the severed blood pirates arrived. Soon, half a day had passed. Crack! At this time, Heiyun Master finally opened the crystal coffin. Water Moon, God Peach Fan. The youth in brocade laughed and used his chi of true spirit to grab the inheritance treasure fan. He didn't know if it was a coincidence, but as soon as he took the Water Moon God Peach fan, the north and south doors opened. Not good. The fan-flying bandit got it first. Master Bai and the severed blood-balled eagle's expressions changed dramatically. The two groups didn't slow down and charged forward to fight for the other treasures within the crystal coffin. The youth in brocade had the Water Moon God Peach fan, and his battle power indeed increased, allowing him to suppress the two at the true spirit realm. What's going on? This Water Moon God Peach fan isn't as strong as we thought. The flower dress girl didn't understand. According to her thoughts, senior brother should be able to heavily injure or even kill the two at the true spirit realm in a short amount of time. Damn it. This inheritance treasure needs to be refined before it can unleash its true power. Right now, I can only use 50 to 60% of its power at the same cultivation. If only I had more time. The youth in brocade said unwillingly. In order for an inheritance treasure to recognize its master, special conditions were usually required, such as a bloodline inheritance or a suitable cultivation technique. Being the direct disciple of the Water Moon pirate, the youth in brocade obviously had a suitable skill, but it needed to be refined before it could unleash its true power. While the three sides were fighting for the treasures, a door opened on the east side. Zhao Feng entered the plaza on the second floor. The reason why he was the last to enter was because he didn't focus on speed. If he entered too quickly, he would bump into the fan-flying bandit, which would be extremely dangerous. His eyes scanned over half of the items on the second floor, and he couldn't help but sigh. If Zhao Feng charged up now, he would probably be attacked by the other groups. Both the fan-flying bandit and the severed blood pirates wouldn't let him go. According to this trend, I won't be able to obtain the richest treasures on the third floor. Zhao Feng's eyes twinkled. In terms of mechanisms, he was alone and definitely couldn't compare to a mechanism master and someone of the true spirit realm. Zhao Feng wasn't willing to give up just like this. However, in terms of strength and manpower, he couldn't compare to the other three. If this was the case on the second floor, the difference would be even greater on the third floor. However, as his thoughts turned, a plan to turn the tables appeared in Zhao Feng's mind. Chapter 292. On the second floor, the fan-flying bandit had obtained the Water Moon God Peach fan and suppressed two experts at the true spirit realm. He even managed to stall everyone by himself. Most of the items in the crystal coffin had been taken by the three. This was because the Water Moon God Peach fan hadn't been refined yet, or else the fan-flying bandit would have been heavily injured or even killed the two at the true spirit realm. Master Bai and the severed blood-balled eagle won't be able to last much longer. Zhao Feng thought in his heart. He stood near the eastern entrance with a calm expression and didn't make any rash moves. Zhao Feng, why aren't you helping? Master Bai saw Zhao Feng and yelled, "Blue-haired brat, if we die, you won't be able to live either." A cold light flashed in the severed blood-balled eagle's eyes. Zhao Feng's strength was definitely the strongest below the three at the true spirit realm. On the first floor, he had defeated three experts at the half-step true spirit realm by himself. If Zhao Feng was willing to help, he would have the battle power of half a true spirit realm. Although he might not be able to turn the situation around, he could at least reduce the pressure on the two sides. Zhao Feng stood there like a block of wood, not reacting at all. "Ha! Blue-hair brat, it doesn't matter if you help them or not. I'll turn your bones to dust." The youth in brocade robes laughed wildly as he stared at Zhao Feng's divine light with cold, killing intent. On the first floor, the fan-flying bandit had already hated Zhao Feng. If it wasn't for Zhao Feng, he would have already obtained the 100-flower sack and killed everyone here. This fan-flying bandit was so dominating. Zhao Feng's eyebrows furrowed. It didn't matter if Zhao Feng helped the other two or not, the other wouldn't let him go. From this, one could see how confident the fan-flying bandit was that he could suppress everyone with a water moon god peach fan. Oomph. These two won't be able to last long. After I force them back, I'll spend some time refining the water moon god peach fan. At that time, killing these people will be as easy as flipping my palm. The youth in embroidered robes was confident of his victory. With his strength, he stood at a commanding height. What did he need to fear? Master Bai and the severed blood-balled eagle were overjoyed by the fan-flying bandit's words. Zhao Feng, the fan-flying bandit won't let you go. Come and help us. Master Bai and the severed blood-balled eagle were in a dangerous situation. Even Bai Qiaoyu couldn't help but say, Brother Zhao, please help us. If this thief succeeded, he would definitely bring harm to the world. You must stop him. Yes. Zhao Feng nodded slightly. With that, he waved his hand. Meow meow. The little thieving cat grabbed a dark silver snake whip and jumped in the air. Zhao Feng gave a glance, and the little thieving cat waved the mystic snake blood whip and joined the chaotic ranks. The little thieving cat's agility was unparalleled, and its concealment skills were superb. With a few flashes, it joined the fight for the treasures below. 5 elemental piercing crystal. The azure robed Taoist, the flower dress girl, and the head of the Bai family were fighting for a 5-color crystal. The 5 elemental piercing crystal was a rare material that could be merged into any weapon to increase its power and quality. A single 5 elemental piercing crystal could increase the power of a low-tier spiritual grade weapon by half a rank. If it was used with other materials, it could even be raised to a middle-tier spiritual grade weapon. If it was a peak-tier mortal grade weapon, such as Zhao Feng's Luoho Bao, a single 5 elemental piercing crystal could raise it to a spiritual grade weapon. The value of this material was even higher than normal spiritual grade weapons. Shua! Suddenly, a snake shadow like a bloody whip appeared out of thin air and took away the 5 elements piercing crystal. Thieving cat, you're courting death. Put down the 5 elemental piercing crystal. The flower dress girl and the azure robed Taoist roared in anger. However, their eyes immediately lit up. Not only did the little thieving cat have the 5 elemental piercing crystal, it also had the priceless mystic snake blood whip. As long as we kill this cat, we can obtain both the mystic snake blood whip and the 5 elemental piercing crystal. The value of these 2 items is comparable to the 100-flower sack. The 3 half-step true spirit realm experts leapt towards the little thieving cat. They believed that they were no match for Zhao Feng, but dealing with one of his kittens was still a piece of cake. Shua! Shua! The little thieving cat bared its fangs in disdain as its figure appeared and disappeared in the air. When it was hidden, even those at the true spirit realm wouldn't be able to find it. This scene caused the fan-flying bandit's expression to darken, and he was filled with anger. This man and cat had stolen countless treasures. They were greedy and should be killed 10,000 times over. The youth in brocade made up his mind to kill the little thieving cat when he had the chance. After all, the value of the mystic snake blood whip and the 5 elemental piercing crystal was close to the water moon god peach fan in his hand. Even those at the true spirit realm would be jealous. So, Zhao Feng pulled the Luoho Bao from afar and shot an arrow at the fan-flying bandit. His attack would only be able to stall the fan-flying bandit for a bit and wouldn't do any damage. Seeing that everyone's attention was on the little thieving cat, Zhao Feng's gaze turned towards Heiyun Master in the corner. Although Heiyun Master was at the half-step true spirit realm, his chi of true spirit had only been converted to 10 to 20%, and he didn't specialize in battle. Therefore, he was the same as Bai Qiaoyu and tried to avoid the battle. Master, I've admired your mechanics for a long time. I have a blueprint from the Prophet Legacy in my possession. Zhao Feng's lips didn't move, and he didn't even use his true force, but his voice sounded in Heiyun Master's mind. After the god spiritual I had evolved and his mental energy techniques had improved, Zhao Feng could directly transmit his voice through mental energy. Heaven's legacy inheritance? Heiyun Master paused. Of the 4 great inheritances, the Heaven's Legacy inheritance was ranked first and the most mysterious. On the current continent, there were a small number of blueprints that came from the Heaven's Legacy inheritance, which surpassed the level of the continent. Thieving cat, die! The fan-flying bandit exclaimed and waved the water-moon god Peach fan in his hand. A ripple of water with a cold intent swept toward the little thieving cat. Pung! Masterby was pushed back by the fan, and the ripple of water with the aura of death leapt towards the little thieving cat. Meow meow! The little thieving cat gave a cunning smile and disappeared. Its sense of danger was very strong. It had even made a dodging move the moment the fan-flying bandit made his move. Where did that thieving cat run off to? Everyone had lost track of the little thieving cat. The fan-flying bandit spread his spiritual sense and suspected that the little thieving cat had been turned into a pile of flesh and blood. Meow meow. The little thieving cat appeared on Zhao Feng's shoulder. Zhao Feng was standing next to Heiyun Master, and they were very close to the east door. Heiyun Master! The fan-flying bandit suddenly realized something was wrong and exclaimed. At this point in time, Heiyun Master had a dazed expression as he stood in front of Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng placed a hand on Heiyun Master's shoulder and faintly smiled. Everyone, I'll be going up to the 3rd floor. After saying this, he grabbed Heiyun Master and headed towards the east door. Oh my god! Everyone's heart shook. Master Bai and the severed blood-balled eagle were completely dazed and took in a cold breath. No one had noticed when Zhao Feng had grabbed Heiyun Master. Everyone's attention had been attracted by the little thieving cat, including the fan-flying bandit who had his eyes on the mystic snake blood whip and 5 elemental piercing crystal. Heiyun Master's expression was dazed, and he didn't resist at all as he allowed Zhao Feng to bring him closer to the east door. Little thieving, stop! The fan-flying bandit's heart went cold, and he roared. The reason why he was able to gain the upper hand in the Watermoon Treasury was mainly because of Heiyun Master. In other words, whoever obtained Heiyun Master would gain the upper hand. Brat, stop! The fan-flying bandit's heart was on fire as he circulated his chi of true spirit and leapt towards Zhao Feng. However, Zhao Feng had already calculated the distance and was very close to the east door. Shua! Zhao Feng almost instantly arrived in front of the east door and placed his hand on it. Wang! The east door opened and a dark green light enveloped Zhao Feng and Heiyun Master. Zhao Feng didn't go in himself first and instead pushed Heiyun Master in. Stay! The fan-flying bandit screamed as he watched Zhao Feng enter the pathway to the 3rd floor. He used all his strength and could only send out one attack. Shoo! A terrifying ripple spread out at high speed and was enough to shatter normal weapons. Lightning ring! Zhao Feng's bloodline power exploded as a lightning ring formed in his hand. This move was a variation of a lightning ring. It had a smaller range, but was more concentrated. Boom! A dazzling sphere of electricity exploded, intertwining with the fan-shaped water ripples that vibrated at high speed. In that instant, the east door slightly shook. Half of Zhao Feng's body had already passed through the door, so he had only received half of the power. Dang! The east door closed, and Zhao Feng's figure disappeared. Before the east door closed, Zhao Feng could still hear the fan-flying bandit's angry roar that shook the entire 2nd floor. Success! Zhao Feng wiped the blood from his mouth. Next to him, Heiyun Master's dazed expression returned to normal as he looked deeply at Zhao Feng. The younger generation will surpass the older. Master, I hope you don't resist. I believe we can work together smoothly. Zhao Feng smiled faintly. His blue hair slowly fell to the ground. The little thieving cat was sitting on his shoulder and rubbing his face as if it was taking credit for its success. Heiyun Master's heart was filled with shock. This youth had only glanced at him, and he felt as if he couldn't resist. This move of yours is indeed vicious, Heiyun Master said with praise, but then his words changed. However, I've been poisoned by the fan-flying bandit. If I don't get the antidote within half a day, I'll die. You think I can't see you've been poisoned? Zhao Feng smiled faintly. He was already prepared, and a gray pill appeared in his hand. This is the 100 dissolving pill, the Water Moon Pirate's antidote. Heiyun Master exclaimed with a face of joy. This 100-dissolving pill was obtained by Zhao Feng when he was passing through the first floor's entrance. The east entrance was the best, and only Zhao Feng had obtained this pill that could cure all poisons in the world. Heiyun Master immediately swallowed the 100-dissolving pill, and the poison in his body began to quickly dissolve as it was expelled from his body. Thank you. From now on, I will help you open the path to the 3rd floor, Heiyun Master said solemnly. However, Heiyun Master revealed a look of hesitation. I have the confidence to let you enter the 3rd floor as quickly as possible, but you should know the strength of the fan-flying bandit and company. Relax from now on. I'm in control of the situation. Zhao Feng's voice contained a power that could calm one's heart. Chapter 293. 2nd floor of the purple copper coffin. The fan-flying bandit roared and roared for a long time. The chi of true spirit in his body almost ignited. This blue hairbrat. The youth in brocade's face twisted as the anger and hatred in his eyes turned into killing intent. The severed blood-balled eagle and Masterby were both shocked and stunned. This sudden situation at the end was completely out of their expectations. Who would have thought that Zhao Feng, the weakest party, would make such a counterattack at the critical moment? In one step, that youth had turned the situation around and seized the initiative. Without a doubt, Zhao Feng could enter the 3rd floor of the purple copper coffin as fast as he could with the mechanism's master. The 3rd floor was where the Water Moon pirate was buried, and the treasures there were definitely the essence of the entire Water Moon secret cave. Senior brother, the 3 flower-treasured Lotus and Mystic Flower Treasure Bible are definitely on the 3rd floor. That brat's guts. The flowery dress woman was still in a state of shock. Only now did she react, and her chest heaved up and down. Heiyun Master has been hit by my 9-death flower poison, and without the antidote, he'll die in half a day. The 3rd floor is the hardest, and even if that brat holds the master hostage, he won't be able to open the 3rd floor. The youth in brocade calmed down. Without the antidote, Heiyun Master would die in half a day, and probably wouldn't be able to solve the last part. Furthermore, the reason why Heiyun Master was able to solve the mechanisms so easily was because of my spiritual sense that was close to the true mystic rank. Without my help, Heiyun Master's speed would probably drop by 30 to 40%. Thinking up to here, a cruel smile appeared on the youth's face. This means that we still have hope. The flower-dressed girl revealed a joyful expression. On the other side, Masterby and the severed blood-balled eagle felt extremely lucky. Zhao Feng had taken the mechanism's master and weakened the fan-flying bandit's control. This Zhao Feng's strength and methods are so vicious that he can fight against normal true spirit realm experts. Masterby couldn't help but feel slightly regretful. He had always treated Zhao Feng as a chess piece, even wary of him and distrustful of him. When crossing the insect river, Masterby had decided to give up on this chess piece. But he didn't expect Zhao Feng's performance to break the rules time and time again. Now, he was even able to overturn the situation and seize the initiative. The severed blood-balled eagle and the azure-robed Taoist had to admit that they had underestimated Zhao Feng too much. At this moment, Zhao Feng had the upper hand, although he might not succeed. Let's go. That Zhao Feng definitely won't get the Mystic Flower Treasure Bible. Master Bai's face was full of confidence as he asked by Qiaoyu to open the southern passage to the 3rd floor. The fan-flying bandit and the severed blood-balled eagle didn't want to fight anymore. After dividing up the treasures, they quickly headed for the 3rd floor. However, the 9 rooms leading to the 3rd floor were filled with traps and formations, making it even more difficult. As for the severed blood-balled eagle and the azure-robed old Taoist priest, it took them half an incense's time to clear the first room. Flame Su the master, Feng the Su, the was of silver. Copper was. The fastest was obviously Zhao Feng. After the first room, Heiyun Master said hesitantly, "The reason why I was so fast before was because of the fan-flying bandit's help. This bandit's spiritual sense is close to the true mystic rank. I'll help you. I won't lose to him." Zhao Feng's voice was calm and powerful. Heiyun Master obviously didn't believe it. After all, Zhao Feng's cultivation hadn't reached the half-step true spirit realm. In reality, with Zhao Feng's strong source of mental energy, he had already formed a spiritual sense. However, he usually didn't use it as it was miles away from the god's spiritual eye. If there were no obstacles, Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye could easily see hundreds of miles. Next, Zhao Feng opened his god's spiritual eye and followed Heiyun Master's instructions to help him solve the mechanisms. The result was that the first room was successfully solved. Heiyun Master was slightly surprised, but still didn't believe it. Maybe luck played a part. However, in the second room, Zhao Feng's accurate eyesight surprised Heiyun Master. In the third room, Heiyun Master's surprise turned into shock. Apart from not being familiar with mechanisms and lacking experience, Zhao Feng's eyesight was even better than him. If it was said that Heiyun Master needed 10 breaths to understand the structure of a mechanism, then Zhao Feng only needed one glance. The problem was that even if Zhao Feng saw the structure of the mechanism, he didn't know how it worked, and it was useless. Genius. A rare genius in 10,000 years. If you're willing to learn from me, this old man can help you become the only mechanisms grandmaster in the northern continent. Heiyun Master was extremely excited, and his face was red. Sorry, but I'm also a forging genius, pill genius, a ray genius. Zhao Feng's expression was calm, as if he was used to this situation. Back then, the blood-haired man and Taigon Master had to rely on his own control to create the wheel of light and darkness. One had to know. The blood-haired man's cultivation had reached the true lord rank, and Taigon Master's skill in forging could be ranked in the top few in the great country. Only then did the heat in Heiyun Master's eyes dim. It was as if he was looking at a monster. If what this youth said wasn't wrong, then he was an all-rounder genius. His guess wasn't wrong. Zhao Feng was an all-rounder genius. Apart from body strengthening, he was like a fish in water in everything else. The speed at which Zhao Feng and Heiyun Master solved the mechanisms together was unimaginable. If you and I work together, our speed will definitely be the best in the continent. Heiyun Master's heart jumped. Zhao Feng only needed one glance to understand the structure of any mechanism. Furthermore, as he followed Heiyun Master, Zhao Feng's knowledge and experience were also increasing. Finally, the two only used half the time it took to make tea to solve the 9 rooms. This is too fast, and the layout of the east side is indeed good. Heiyun Master couldn't help but sigh. On the way, Zhao Feng had obtained a lot of benefits, and he had even obtained the 100-dissolving pill. Creak! The door to the 3rd floor opened. Zhao Feng suppressed his excitement and stepped into a new little square. The 3rd floor didn't change in size, but the space above his head was huge. In the middle was a crystal coffin that hung in midair, and a corpse could be faintly seen inside. It hadn't changed at all even after 100 years. Inside the crystal coffin were some burial items. Although there weren't many, any one of them was at least a spiritual-grade weapon. Inside the crystal coffin was a palm-sized, 3-colored lotus throne. It gave off a warm glow, looking very eye-catching. This is the 3-flowered treasured lotus of the water moon, 4 treasures. Heiyun Master's face was filled with shock, as if he had seen a beauty. He didn't have such an expression on the 1st or 2nd floor. Zhao Feng's god spiritual eye scanned over it, and immediately confirmed that the value of the 3-flowered treasured lotus surpassed the water moon god peach fan and 100-flower sack. It was even more valuable than the latter two combined. The 3-flowered treasured lotus is the inheritance of the 100-flower chapter and a sacred item of the wicked path. Back then, the Water Moon Pirate had this item, which allowed him to block the combined forces of many true spirit realm experts. Even those at the true spirit realm couldn't do anything to him. Heiyun Master sighed. Hearing up to here, Zhao Feng's heart beat faster. After Heiyun Master's explanation, he understood the use of the lotus. The 3-flowered treasured lotus was a defensive treasure and didn't have any offensive abilities. However, its defensive and supportive abilities were extremely strong. Firstly, the 3-flowered treasured lotus could fly extremely quickly, and if a true mystic rank used it, its speed would be comparable to the true lord rank, and it didn't expend much energy. Secondly, the three-flowered treasured lotus could form three petals to protect its owner, and normal true spirit realm attacks wouldn't be able to break through its defense. Lastly, the three-flower treasured lotus could release three different fragrances which could clear one's mind, hypnotize one's mind, and increase one's mood. The three-flower treasured lotus could even gather heaven-earth yuan qi to increase one's cultivation speed. It was because of this item that the water-moon pirate was able to reach the peak true mystic rank in just a few decades. The first clear fragrance could clear the hypnotic and aphrodisiac effects and could even cure most poisons of the wicked path. The three-flowered treasured lotus is the water-moon pirate's most important treasure and his trump card. If you can refine the three-flowered treasured lotus, you'll be able to block the attacks of those at the true human rank for a short period of time. Heian Master smiled and said. Zhao Feng nodded his head, and his gaze moved above the crystal coffin. Above the crystal coffin hung a mystic ice crystal that gave off a cold aura. Sealed within was an ancient book that glowed with a dark light. Mystic Flower Treasure Bible. Zhao Feng's heart jumped when he recognized the words on the book. Heian Master and Zhao Feng arrived near the crystal coffin and started to solve the last mechanism. I didn't think that the last mechanism would use the blueprints from the Heaven's Legacy inheritance. Heian Master's expression became solemn. His understanding of mechanisms naturally far surpassed the water-moon pirate himself. However, the core of the mechanism came from the most mysterious and ancient Heaven's Legacy inheritance. The intricacy and complexity of the mechanisms here were unimaginable. Even Heian Master was puzzled by some of the principles. How about this? I'll draw out the structure of the mechanism. Zhao Feng suggested. Draw it out? Heian Master was stunned. As soon as he finished speaking, Zhao Feng took out a brush and paper and began to quickly draw on the map. His eyes were calm, and the hand holding the pen was extremely steady, without any trembling. In a single breath, Zhao Feng drew several dozen blueprints, his accuracy reaching a terrifying level. Heian Master looked at the complicated blueprints in front of him and couldn't help but take in a cold breath. Zhao Feng checked again and again to make sure that there were no mistakes. Master, how long will it take to solve the last mechanism? Zhao Feng asked. You've given me the blueprints, so I'll probably be able to solve it within half a day. At that time, the crystal coffin will open and you'll be able to obtain the three-flowered treasured lotus. Heian Master said, half a day isn't long. Then how long do you think it will take for the others to reach the third floor? Zhao Feng asked. They'll need at least 5 to 6 days to 10 days to reach the third floor. Heian Master revealed a smile on his face. The passage to the third floor, with the two of them working together, their speed was unparalleled in the continent. Good. It's going smoother than expected. Zhao Feng revealed a joyful expression as he sat down and took a sip of the 100-flower saint liquid before starting to cultivate. Chapter 294. Time passed quickly within the Water-Moon secret cave. The 9 rooms leading to the third floor were filled with traps and dangers. The fan-flying bandit, Masterby, and the severed blood-balled eagle's group's progress was extremely slow. With Zhao Feng and Heian Master teaming up, their ability to solve the traps far surpassed normal mechanisms masters. While the 3 groups were working hard to solve the traps, Zhao Feng had already started cultivating. He first took the 100-flower saint liquid. The 100-flower saint liquid was a secret liquid of the 100-flower chapter that could help one break through to the true spirit realm and transform their true force into the chi of true spirit. In essence, this liquid was an improved version of the shedding spiritual pill. In terms of effect, the 100-flower saint liquid was slightly stronger than the shedding spiritual pill, but it was gentle and released bit by bit. Using this liquid wouldn't cause one's cultivation to become unstable. My mental energy level is now stable and not weaker than those at the true spirit realm. It doesn't matter even if I take the shedding spiritual pill. Zhao Feng circulated his true force. After taking the 100-flower saint liquid, Zhao Feng felt the true force in his body slowly increase. As the medicinal effect continued, The transformation seeped into his flesh and blood. The shedding spiritual pill's effect was gentle, but it was extremely effective. Zhao Feng felt his cultivation quickly approach the peak's seventh sky. At this time, Heiyu Master's face was full of exhaustion. He had also reached the last critical moment of solving the mechanisms around the crystal coffin. Zhao Feng stood up and took off his eye patch and fully activated his god's spiritual eye to see every detail and feedback to Heiyu Master. Heiyu Master let out a sigh of relief. The third floor's core mechanism layout was much more difficult than he had imagined. His calculation ability had reached its limit. But with Zhao Feng's help, the pressure was halved. The crystal coffin lit up with a rainbow light, and the lid opened automatically. Fated ones, to be able to pass through so many barriers and reach this place. One can see your strength and intelligence. If possible, I hope that you, who will inherit this inheritance, can complete one of my wishes. A gentle male voice sounded. Zhao Feng and Heiyu Master's movements froze as they stared at the crystal coffin. Inside the crystal coffin, the corpse of the water moon pirate slowly stood up, his gaze deep and sincere. Could this be the reflective reconstruction technique from the Tianji inheritance? Heiyu Master took a deep breath and stared at the water moon pirate in the crystal coffin, who seemed to have come back to life. At this moment, the water moon pirate's body was indeed filled with life, and his voice came from his mouth. But these words and actions were set up before he died. Under a special trigger, they were reconstructed and played back. My last wish is in the three-flowered treasured lotus. As for the mystic flower treasured cannon, that is a sacred art of the evil path. TSK. It requires the blood of Virgin Een to be used as a sacrifice. If you use too much force, the entire water moon cave will collapse. After the water moon pirate finished speaking, he swept his gaze around with a deeper meaning. His body slowly lay down again. His life aura was completely gone, and his body temperature returned to ice cold. Zhao Feng couldn't help exclaiming in admiration. The Heaven's Legacy inheritance actually had such a profound method, allowing the dead to temporarily reconstruct themselves. Up until now, everything had been in Zhao Feng's control. The only unexpected factor was that the Mystic Flower Treasured Bible actually needed this kind of blood of Virgin Een. What's the blood of Virgin Een? Zhao Feng asked curiously, but his hands didn't slow down as he quickly took the items from the crystal coffin. Meow meow. The little thieving cat excitedly jumped into the crystal coffin and jumped around the water moon pirate's body, quickly taking the treasures from the crystal coffin. The blood of Virgin Een is the blood left behind by a girl with a special constitution during their first time. Heiyu Master lightly coughed and awkwardly explained. Zhao Feng finally understood why Master Bai wanted to bring Bai Qiaoyu in. Coincidentally, Bai Qiaoyu had also learned mechanisms and arrays from Heiyu Master. In just a short while, the man and the cat took all the treasures in the crystal coffin. The most valuable was obviously the three-flowered treasured lotus, which was even more valuable than the 100-flower sack and water moon god peach fan combined. Apart from the three-flower treasured lotus, the other items were all high quality and were all at least at the spiritual grade. Amongst them, there was one middle-tier spiritual grade item and three low-tier spiritual grade items. They were all of the same tier and far surpassed the items from the first and second floors. Mystic Water Saint Liquid, a supreme saint liquid formed from the 100-flower saint liquid and three other saint liquids. Helps those at the true spirit realm comprehend the heaven and earth Tao, forming the root of law and increasing the chances of reaching the true mystic rank by 30%. Heaven Luo Mystic Cloak, impervious to fire and water, warm in winter and cool in summer. Formed from Heaven Luo silk, extremely tough and can greatly reduce true force attacks. Those under the true lord rank can't damage it at all. Life Extension Pill increases lifespan by 50 years. Not effective against unnatural deaths. Every item that entered Xiao Chen's eyes was a precious treasure that was worth cities. Even if it was similarly a low-grade spirit rank divine weapon, the value of one here was several times that of the same grade. This was especially so for the Mystic Flower Saint Liquid, Heaven Luo Mystic Cloak, and Life Extension Pill. The Mystic Flower Saint Liquid could help one break through to the true mystic rank. Although the Heaven Luo Mystic Cloak wasn't strictly a spiritual grade item, it was extremely tough and hard to destroy. It could also reduce the impact of true spirit attacks. As for the Life Extension Pill, it could extend one's lifespan and go against the heavens to buy life. The lifespan of a normal person was only 100 years, and a life extension pill could increase lifespan by half 100 years. Zhao Feng had received a total of 3 life extension pills. Everyone would only be able to use the first one to their full potential. Zhao Feng was only in his teens, and a life extension pill didn't have much attraction for him. On the other hand, Heiyun Master was over 100 years old and was moved by the life extension pill. Zhao Feng smiled faintly and gave one to Heiyun Master while leaving the other 2 for his parents. Heiyun Master was extremely grateful and immediately ate the life extension pill. There were 1 or 2 items that Zhao Feng didn't really need but were useful to Heiyun Master. Zhao Feng also gave them to him. Heiyun Master was filled with gratitude and respect. Before, when he was threatened by the fan-flying bandit, the latter had threatened him with his life and didn't give him a single treasure. On the other hand, Zhao Feng had given him several treasures, including the life extension pill. After taking all the items in the crystal coffin, Zhao Feng's gaze turned towards the Mystic Flower Treasure Bible and the Mystic Ice Crystal Stone. Is there really no other way to obtain the Mystic Flower Treasure Bible? Zhao Feng asked. No. Heiyun Master shook his head. The Mystic Flower Treasured Bible required a special material to open the mechanisms. Without the material, it was useless no matter how high one's understanding of mechanisms was. Blood of Een, Zhao Feng thought about it and gave up. Although the Mystic Flower Treasured Bible was profound, it wasn't as strong as his lightning inheritance. Furthermore, you also need to open the Mystic Flower Treasure Bible in order to open a door to the outside world. Otherwise, you'll need to wait at least 49 days for the entire water moon cave to sink. Heiyun Master continued. Hearing this, Zhao Feng couldn't help but think. After entering the 3rd floor, there was no new door. The door that they had come in from had automatically closed, and there was no way out. This meant that if they didn't open a path, they wouldn't be able to leave. Oh well, without the determination to go all out, how can there be a fortune? Zhao Feng could only accept it. Entering the 3rd floor was another factor that exceeded his expectations. The first was that the Mystic Flower Treasured Bible required the blood of Een to open. The second was that they couldn't leave the same way. If you can refine the 3 flower treasured lotus and make some preparations, you might be able to fight against those at the true spirit realm. Heiyun Master suggested worriedly. Okay. Zhao Feng nodded his head and listened to Heiyun Master's suggestion to refine the 3-flowered treasured lotus first. In its normal state, the 3-flowered treasured lotus was the size of a palm, but when it was used, it could turn into a 3-colored lotus stand. In reality, Heiyun Master was slightly worried about Zhao Feng refining the 3-flowered treasured lotus. The difficulty of refining the 3-flowered treasured lotus wasn't small. Firstly, it required a high spiritual sense. Secondly, it required a special skill or bloodline. But the result, Zhao Feng refining the 3-flowered treasured lotus was relatively smooth. His mental energy level was comparable to those at the true spirit realm, and his spiritual sense wasn't much weaker than those of the true spirit realm. When refining this treasure, Zhao Feng used his God's spiritual eye, and the refining speed increased by several times. In terms of bloodline, he had an ancient bloodline that even the flooding Lake City Lord wanted and forced him to marry. Therefore, Zhao Feng's refining speed was extremely fast with the help of the God's spiritual eye. 2 days later, Zhao Feng had successfully refined the 3-flowered treasured lotus. Wang, the 3-flowered treasured lotus grew to 5 yards wide, and blue, red, and purple petals appeared around it, protecting Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng told Heiyun Master to attack him with all his strength. Peng! The petals around the 3-flowered treasured lotus intertwined and dissolved the attack. Zhao Feng sat in the middle and was unharmed. This treasured lotus could barely fit one or two people, and with their true force, its defense would be stronger and it could last longer. The three-flowered treasured lotus flying speed was also extremely fast, but the space in the tomb was limited. After refining the three-flowered treasured lotus, you can fight against one at the true spirit realm. However, facing two or more will be dangerous. Heiyun Master's expression was solemn. It's not too far off. I still have room to improve. Zhao Feng smiled faintly. He immediately sat on the three-flowered treasured lotus and started to cultivate. The three-flowered treasured lotus could release a fragrance that could help with cultivation and gather heaven-earth yuan qi. Zhao Feng took another small sip of the 100-flower saint liquid and circulated his true force to cultivate. In just half a day, Zhao Feng's cultivation had reached the peak 7th sky. His cultivation was high enough at the peak 7th sky, and he could circulate his true force as he pleased. At this point in time, there was only 1/3 of the 100-flower saint liquid left. Zhao Feng drank it all. On the basis of his 7th heaven, he continued to cultivate. He even swallowed a few other rare spirit pills in one go. Meow meow. The little thieving cat also furiously ate the other treasures and spiritual pills. Seeing the crazy actions of the human and cat, Heiyun Master couldn't help but break out in cold sweat. It didn't matter if the power of the spiritual pills would explode or not. Even if it could, the sudden increase in cultivation would probably cause it to become unstable. However, Zhao Feng and the little thieving cat couldn't be judged by normal standards. The little thieving cat couldn't explain it. Zhao Feng's mental energy level was comparable to the true spirit realm. It wouldn't be a problem for him to reach the true spirit realm in one go. 3 days later, a portion of Zhao Feng's true force had turned into the qi of half-step true spirit. Chapter 295. Third floor of the purple copper coffin. The blue-haired youth sat cross-legged on a lotus platform surrounded by 3 colored petals. He was wearing the Heaven Luo mystic robe, a blue and white robe that fit his body and made him look extraordinarily handsome. His deep blue left eye added a hint of coldness. At this moment in time, a faint aura of a half-step true spirit realm appeared on Zhao Feng's body. There was only one difference between the 7th sky and half-step true spirit realm, and that was the qi of half-step true spirit. Even if there was only a wisp of qi of half-step true spirit in his body, he would still be considered to have reached this level. With the 3-flowered treasured lotus and the 100-flower saint liquid, Zhao Feng's cultivation speed and the conversion rate of his qi of half-step true spirit rose to the extreme. On the side, Heiyun Master had a complex expression and a hint of respect. Using the Water Moon Treasury, Zhao Feng had completed the half-step that many people couldn't even take decades to reach. And all of this wasn't due to luck or luck. Zhao Feng had stolen Heiyun Master from between the teeth of 3 experts at the true spirit realm. It could be said that he was stealing food from the mouth of tiger. This 3-flowered treasured lotus is indeed worthy of being a support saint item. My mental energy level is already high and, with its help, I can comprehend and cultivate easily. Zhao Feng slowly opened his eyes. The qi of half-step true spirit within his body was still being converted. Zhao Feng's mental energy level was comparable to those at the true spirit realm and could absorb the heaven-earth yuan qi. With the help of the 3-flowered treasured lotus, it was like adding wings to a tiger. Heiyun Master watched as Zhao Feng's cultivation rose step by step. What surprised him was that Zhao Feng's control of the qi of half-step true spirit wasn't rusty at all. The light in Zhao Feng's eyes occasionally flashed, and the pressure it gave off was much stronger than any expert at the half-step true spirit realm Heiyun Master had seen before. He could see that Zhao Feng was trying his best to conceal his aura. In just half a day's time, the qi of half-step true spirit within Zhao Feng's body had reached 10%. This terrifying speed made Heiyun Master feel ashamed. Even if you have bloodline power, it would be very difficult to refine the 3-flowered treasured lotus so quickly if your spiritual sense isn't strong enough. Even with the help of the 3-flowered treasured lotus and 100-flower saint liquid, the conversion speed of your chi of true spirit shouldn't be this fast. Could it be that your talent is comparable to the legendary heaven spiritual body? Heian Master took a deep breath. He could not help but voice out the doubt in his heart. The heavenly spiritual body was said to be the highest aptitude in the legends. Only with this kind of aptitude could one cultivate at such a fast speed. If I had the heavenly spiritual body, I'm afraid I wouldn't be at the mortal shedding stage anymore. Zhao Feng shook his head and smiled. Putting aside the heaven spiritual body, even a high-tier earth spiritual body could reach the true spirit realm before the age of 20 in a prosperous place like the canopied great country. He didn't explain as his mental energy aura suddenly rose and the heaven-earth yuan qi near the 3-flowered treasured lotus became active. Heian Master's mental energy suddenly felt a suffocating pressure. Your mental energy level is comparable to the true human rank. No wonder you could refine the 3-flowered treasured lotus so smoothly. The conversion speed of your chi of half-step true spirit is so fast. Heian Master's face was full of shock as he understood. If one's mental energy level exceeded their cultivation, then their cultivation speed couldn't be measured by normal standards. This was like a cultivator at the true spirit realm, starting from the beginning. The advantage in cultivation would allow their cultivation speed to increase by leaps and bounds. It's already been 5 to 6 days, and the 3 groups still haven't reached the 3rd floor. Zhao Feng changed the topic as his eyes scanned the 3 directions. According to Heian Master's estimates, these people would need at least 5 to 6 days to 10 days to reach the 3rd floor. This was a good thing for Zhao Feng. He had more time to prepare and cultivate. Gulu, the little thieving cat, rolled down from Zhao Feng's shoulder and was currently sleeping. Its chubby belly was extremely cute. This greedy cat eats too much. Zhao Feng sighed as he put the little thieving cat back into his spiritual pet bag. Heian Master stared at the little thieving cat and felt his heart jump. This cat didn't just eat a lot. The treasures and pills it had eaten were enough to make several cultivators at the true spirit realm explode. However, the cat only ate its fill and started to sleep. Zhao Feng's god spiritual eye could see that the treasures and pills the little thieving cat had eaten were quickly changing. The weird thing was that the little thieving cat's eyes didn't change. Zhao Feng wasn't sure of the little thieving cat's strength, but it should be able to easily deal with several cultivators at the half-step true spirit realm. The little thieving cat's sleep didn't look like it would wake up anytime soon. Its body was changing as it slept, just like how Zhao Feng had slept in the river for a month or 2. That's right, little friend. You refined the 3-flowered treasured lotus. What did the water moon pirate leave behind? Heian Master couldn't help but be curious. The water moon pirate was, after all, a legendary figure in the canopied great country. What did he leave behind before he died? This was within the 3-flowered treasured lotus. Zhao Feng had refined the 3-flowered treasured lotus, so he definitely knew the contents of the will. This will is related to Empress Qin. Zhao Feng's voice paused, and he didn't want to talk about it anymore. But now, whether it was First Elder's letter or the Water Moon Pirate's will, Zhao Feng had to go find Empress Qin. This time, what kind of person was Empress Qin? Zhao Feng's heart was filled with expectation and wariness. But no matter what, this was his mission in the canopied great country. While Zhao Feng was cultivating, the other 3 groups were trying their best to break through the tunnel. The 9th room on the west side. I'm just 1 step away from entering the 3rd floor. The fan-flying bandit was fully focused as exhaustion and excitement appeared on his face. Senior brother, just 1 more step and we'll be able to take back everything. The flower-dressed girl's face was filled with expectation. The 2's hatred for Zhao Feng had reached a point where they wouldn't rest until one of them was dead. Even if Zhao Feng was willing to give up everything and surrender, they would still torture him to death. At the same time, Master Bai and the severed blood-balled eagle were also in the 9th room, trying to break through the mechanisms. Even if that blue-haired brat gets the treasure, he won't be able to escape alive. The azure-robed Taoist's face was cold as the last mechanism in the ninth room was about to be solved. The ninth room on the south side. Master Bai, can we not cause trouble for Brother Zhao Feng after we go in? Bai Qiaoyu said with a begging expression. Qiaoyu, you're thinking too simply. Even if we don't become enemies with him, will the fan-flying bandit let him go? Will the greedy, severed blood-balled eagle let him go? Master Bai shook his head. Hearing this, Bai Qiaoyu's expression dimmed, and she didn't know what to say. Yes, the strongest party right now was still the fan-flying bandit. If Master Bai and the severed blood-balled eagle hadn't teamed up, they would have probably died already. How unfortunate, a rare genius like him, Master Bai said with a regretful expression. From the bottom of his heart, he somewhat regretted recruiting a genius like Zhao Feng. Otherwise, he might have been the one in control of the situation. But he was forced by the circumstances. This Zhao Feng had to die. The speed of the three groups had reached the limit. In terms of speed, the severed blood-balled eagles group was the fastest. The azure-robed Taoist was a grave robber master and was extremely experienced in mechanisms. Working together with the severed blood-balled eagle, their speed was still slightly faster. Crack! The northern door opened and the severed blood-balled eagle, the azure-robed Taoist, and another half-step true spirit realm entered the third floor. Zhao Feng. The three's eyes locked onto the figure in the middle. A blue-haired youth wearing the blue and white sky luo mystic robe was sitting on the three-flowered treasured lotus. Apart from him, there was also a short elder sitting slightly behind Zhao Feng. Looking at the empty crystal coffin with only a corpse inside, the faces of the severed blood-balled eagle and the others changed drastically. Three-flowered treasured lotus. Mystic Treasure Bible. This brat stole all the treasures on the third floor. The severed blood-balled eagle and the azure-robed Taoist were shocked and greedy before revealing expressions of joy and excitement. Quick, kill this brat and take the treasures. The severed blood-balled eagle and company leapt towards Zhao Feng. They knew how strong Zhao Feng was. He was stronger than normal half-step true spirit realm experts. And now, with those at the true spirit realm as the main force and two at the half-step true spirit realm supporting him, how could this brat not die? So. The severed blood-balled eagle leapt towards Zhao Feng and unleashed a fatal attack. In that instant, the pressure from the true spirit realm made Heiyun Master's chest feel heavy and heavy. Zhao Feng sat on the three-flowered treasured lotus with a mocking expression. One, green, blue, and purple petals extended from the three-flowered treasured lotus and formed a three-colored flower that protected Zhao Feng and company. Boom! The ferocious attacks landed on the three-flowered treasured lotus, but the latter was as steady as Mount Tai. Zhao Feng sat on the three-flowered treasured lotus motionlessly. The sky luo mystic robe on his body gently fluttered in the wind, as if it was untainted by the mortal world. How is this possible? The severed blood-balled eagle and company's eyes bulged out. With the three of them working together, even a true spirit realm cultivator would be injured if not killed. However, the youth sitting on the three-flowered treasured lotus smiled mockingly and was completely fine. The three-flowered treasured lotus is indeed worthy of being a sacred item of the wicked path. The Water Moon Pirate relied on this to deal with the pursuit of the true Lord rank. Heiyun Master was overjoyed and couldn't help but exclaim. He had to admit that he had underestimated the three-flowered treasured lotus power. From the fact that the Water Moon Pirate buried on the third floor, one could see how important this item was to him. How could this brat refine the three-flowered treasured lotus? The azure-robed Taoist roared in disbelief. The three furiously attacked Zhao Feng, but they couldn't break through the three-flowered treasured lotus defense. If they were outside, with the three-flowered treasured lotus's speed, it would have long since flown away. What's going on? I suddenly feel tired and want to sleep. The half-step true spirit realm pirate's eyelids were heavy and he couldn't stand straight. The azure-robed Taoist also felt extremely tired. The more I attack, the more tired I feel. Not good. This is the three-flowered treasured lotus's supportive fragrance. The expressions of the three changed dramatically as they retreated. The three-flowered treasured lotus was a supportive sacred item of the wicked path. Apart from flying in defense, it could also release three different fragrances. Even those at the true spirit realm couldn't resist the power of this fragrance. Chapter 296. At this point in time, the expressions of the severed blood-balled eagle and company changed. Wariness, unwillingness, greed, shock. All sorts of expressions appeared on their faces. The youth in front of them had taken all the treasures on the third floor. As long as they killed him, they would be able to obtain the essence of the entire Watermoon treasury. However, this step stopped the severed blood-balled eagle and company. One at the true spirit realm, and two at the half-step true spirit realm couldn't defeat this brat. He's just an ant at seventh sky. No. When did this brat reach the half-step true spirit realm? The severed blood-balled eagle and the azure-robed Taoist were filled with regret and unwillingness. Zhao Feng sat cross-legged on the three-flowered treasured lotus with a cold expression and focused on cultivating. The three-flowered treasured lotus is stronger than I imagined. Heiyun Master was overjoyed. Zhao Feng had just used his half-step true force to activate the three-flowered treasured lotus to protect himself and use the hypnotic fragrance to make the severed blood-balled eagle and company retreat. Zhao Feng, I suggest you hand over the three-flowered treasured lotus and the treasures on the third floor as soon as possible. Otherwise, you won't be able to hold on for long when the fan-flying bandit and Old Bai arrive. If you're willing to pledge allegiance to us now, we can join forces and save your life. The severed blood-balled eagle and the azure-robed Taoist both spoke. Zhao Feng didn't bother with them and used the time to digest the 100-flower saint liquid and the other spiritual pills while circulating the qi of half-step true spirit within his body. At every moment, the qi of half-step true spirit within his body was being converted. Zhao Feng's actions made the severed blood-balled eagle and company furious and embarrassed. Blue hair brat, don't think that we can't do anything to you just because you have the three-flowered treasured lotus. A cruel light flashed through the severed blood-balled eagle's eyes as a low-tier spiritual grade blood blade appeared in his hand. With the help of the spiritual grade weapon, his offense increased dramatically as he leapt toward Zhao Feng. This time, Zhao Feng still circulated the three-flowered treasured lotus hypnotic fragrance, and the three petals surrounded Zhao Feng and Heiyun Master. Boom! The severed blood-balled eagle's attacks were even fiercer. The three-colored petals protecting Zhao Feng dimmed under the barrage of attacks. The petals protecting Zhao Feng dimmed a bit under the barrage of attacks. As long as two or more cultivators at the true spirit realm teamed up, there's a high chance of breaking through his defense. The expression of the severed blood-balled eagle started to discuss with the azure-robed Taoist. The severed blood-balled eagle's expression flickered as he discussed with the green-robed old Taoist. From the current situation, a cultivator at the true spirit realm couldn't do anything to Zhao Feng. Heiyun Master's eyes were filled with worry as he sent a message. Even with my help, we can only block two at the true spirit realm for a while. The fan-flying bandit strength is close to the true mystic rank, and once three at the true spirit realm team up, the three treasured but the three treasured. Although the three of the three of the three, the three in of the lotus was of the lotus, of yang of the three, in the three of the three. Feng of treasured lotus of Zhao of long demon, demon of as, the three of as of the three. Faced with Heiyun Master's worries, Zhao Feng was indifferent and continued to cultivate. He had only digested half of the 100-flower saint liquid and other elixirs in his body, so he could continue to increase it. As for the cries of the severed blood vulture and the other two, Zhao Feng simply ignored them. Seeing that it couldn't do anything to Zhao Feng, the severed blood-balled eagle turned its attention to the Mystic Flower Treasure Bible. Zhao Feng has the help of a mechanical grandmaster, but he did not obtain the Mystic Flower Treasure Bible. There must be something wrong with this. The azure-robed old Taoist transmitted his voice. After checking, the three of them also found the problem with the Mystic Flower Treasured Bible. We still lack one material to obtain the Mystic Flower Treasured Book. Otherwise, I'm afraid we'll have to stay here for 49 days. The green-robed old Taoist looked gloomy. What materials are you lacking? The severed blood-balled eagle was flustered and exasperated. The treasure was right before its eyes, but it couldn't do anything about it. There's a hint on the profound ice crystal that we need the blood of Een. At this point, the green-robed old Taoist almost cursed it out loud. How could there be a virgin with a special constitution in this place that needed the first-time blood? Creak. The western door opened. 3 flowered treasured lotus. Mystic Flower Treasured Bible. The fan-flying bandit and the flower dress girl entered the 3rd floor, and their greedy eyes scanned over Zhao Feng and the Mystic Flower Treasured Bible within the profound ice crystal. Brat, die. The fan-flying bandit's expression was cold as he waved the water moon god peach fan and attacked Zhao Feng. Pung! His attack was half a level higher than the severed blood-balled eagle's. The 3 colored petals protecting Zhao Feng and fan-flying bandit quickly dimmed. The fan-flying bandit's strength was close to the true mystic rank, and he had one of the water moon 4 treasures, the water moon god peach fan. Pa! At the critical moment, Heian Master placed his hand on Zhao Feng's shoulder and transferred his chi of half-step true spirit into the latter. Wang, the 3 colored petals of the 3 flowered treasured lotus lit up again. Heian Master, you've obviously been hit by my 9 death flower poison. At the same time, Zhao Feng used the 3 flowered treasured lotus hypnotic and aphrodisiac fragrances. The 3 flowered treasured lotus fragrance could enter the mental energy dimension, and its power was related to the owner's mental energy. How can you refine the 3 flower treasured lotus and use the 2 fragrances? The fan-flying bandit was shocked and retreated a distance. The 3 flowered treasured lotus fragrance could affect those at the true spirit realm. The fan-flying bandit could resist a bit, but the flower dress girl next to him couldn't. She took off her clothes and leapt towards him. The severed blood-balled eagle stood on the side and didn't attack. Once the fan-flying bandit gets the 3 flowered treasured lotus, even if Master Bai and I teamed up, we would still die. The severed blood-balled eagle had his own plans. Crack! Right at this moment, the southern door opened. Master Bai Qiaoyu and the head of the Bai family entered the 3rd floor. What's going on? The situation on the 3rd floor caused Master Bai to be surprised. Zhao Feng was sitting in the middle, and the fan-flying bandit and severed blood-balled eagle didn't leap forward, as if they were wary of him. With the arrival of 3 experts at the true spirit realm, the situation became complicated. With my strength, I can kill this brat if I pay a small price. But with these 2 on the side, I'm afraid. The fan-flying bandit was wary of the other 2 experts at the true spirit realm. Master Bai and the severed blood-balled eagle teamed up once again. Only this way could they barely fight against the fan-flying bandit. Zhao Feng sat on the 3 flowered treasured lotus and continued to cultivate. Heian Master broke out in cold sweat. If the 3 experts at the true spirit realm teamed up, he and Zhao Feng probably wouldn't be able to last 10 breaths. Oh, the Mystic Flower Treasured Bible requires the blood of Een? Master Bai's eyes flashed. It wasn't easy to satisfy the requirement of the blood of Een. The flower dress girl with the fan-flying bandit was definitely not a virgin. She came from the 100 Flower chapter and was obviously very lewd. This girl, the azure-robed Taoist, and the severed blood-balled eagle squinted their eyes at the same time as they looked at Bai Qiaoyu. The fan-flying bandit's eyes lit up as he realized this. Bai Qiaoyu was pure and kind and was only 12 or 13 years old. The fan-flying bandit had seen countless girls in his life and could tell that she was a virgin with one glance. Ha ha ha, old man Bai, you're really smart. Why don't you let me take this girl's body? The severed blood-balled eagle laughed. Pah, you bald thug, what do you know? Little girl, don't worry. I'll let you experience something you've never experienced before. The fan-flying bandit waved the fan in his hand elegantly. You guys, being stared at by two bandits at the same time. Bai Qiaoyu's face went white. Master Bai, could it be that you... The expression of the head of the Bai family changed as he quickly protected his daughter. When Bai Qiaoyu was very young, she was sent to learn mechanisms and arrays by Master Bai. This time, the opening of the Water Moon Treasury was also Master Bai's suggestion to bring Bai Qiaoyu in. Furthermore, Bai Qiaoyu just happened to meet the requirements. How could there be such a coincidence? Qiaoyu, this is your destiny. When the fan-flying bandits set up this secret cave, it was already decided. Who told you to have a colding body? Master Bai let out a long sigh. Bai Qiaoyu's face was ashen as her frail body lightly trembled. She didn't dare imagine what was waiting for her. Master Bai had secretly decided her fate from the moment she was born. Back then, there were many experts that were forced by the Water Moon Pirate to dig the tomb. Afterwards, almost all of the participants were killed. However, after the Water Moon Pirate died, there were one or two people that barely managed to escape. Although they died from the poison, they still managed to leak some information. The severed blood-balled eagle looked at Master Bai. That's right, one of them was my younger brother, but he died too quickly from the poison. I only know a few secrets of the treasury, such as the materials needed to open the Mystic Flower Treasured Bible. Master Bai said straightforwardly, of the people that had dug the tomb, two had barely managed to escape. One of them was Master Bai's younger brother. The other person had drawn a map before he died, and it had been lost for almost 100 years. In the end, the severed blood-balled eagle had found the secret. This was the origin of what had happened today. Interesting. Very interesting. Then everyone, let's discuss how to deal with this blue-haired brat and how to split the treasures. The robed man had a bright smile on his face. Now, all the conditions for the wind-blowing treasure had been fulfilled. Zhao Feng was only passively defending. Once the three of them worked together, or even two of them, it wouldn't be a problem to defeat him. As for obtaining the Mystic Flower Treasure Bible, with Bai Qiaoyu as the material, it wouldn't be difficult at all. It was just a matter of who went first. We need to defeat this brat first. If we obtain the Mystic Flower Treasure Bible, we will open a new path, and that brat will escape. The azure-robed Taoist said with a cunning expression. So that's how it was. Hearing this, everyone nodded their heads and felt that this brat was extremely cunning. This brat's so cunning. He wants to use us to obtain the Mystic Flower Treasure Bible and open a new path. Then, he will steal it and use the three-flowered treasured lotus to escape. Master Bai's expression changed. Sitting on the three-flowered treasured lotus, Zhao Feng almost spat out blood. He hadn't done anything other than cultivate, but the three of them had accused him of this. However, even Heian Master next to him had a suspicious gaze. After all, they had all experienced Zhao Feng's ruthlessness and how he had overturned the situation. What do we do now? Heian Master's heart trembled as he watched the three at the True Spirit Realm approach together, planning to kill Zhao Feng. I originally wanted to play with them, but it looks like I'll have to change my plans. Zhao Feng's gaze turned towards the trembling Bai Qiaoyu in the corner. Back then, it was Bai Qiaoyu who had fished him out, which was why he had this fortune. But now, Zhao Feng knew how to repay kindness and decided to change his plans. Say Bai Qiaoyu. Chapter 297. The battle for the Water Moon Treasure had entered the final critical moment. The three True Spirit Realm experts decided to work together to defeat Zhao Feng. Behind him, the green-robed Taoist, the flower-dressed woman, and another pirate had knocked out the head of the Bai family. Bai Qiaoyu's mobility was sealed to prevent her from committing suicide. The current situation could be said to be foolproof for the three parties who had joined hands. Let's kill this kid first and split the treasures evenly. Then we can discuss the ownership of the Mystic Flower Treasure Bible. The fan-flying bandit's face lit up. He had decided that once he killed Zhao Feng, he would obtain the three-flowered treasured lotus no matter the price. At that time, even if he was injured, he had the Water Moon Immortal Peach fan to attack and the three-flowered treasured lotus to defend. He was basically invincible. What should we do? Heian Master was like an ant on a hot pan. Although Zhao Feng had reached half a step into the true spirit realm and refined the three-flowered treasured lotus, it was still far from enough to block the combined attacks of three at the true spirit realm unless he could reach the true spirit realm. Finally, at this moment, Zhao Feng slowly got up and took off his blindfold. A condensed aura of the half-step true spirit realm radiated from his body, which was indescribable compared to those of the half-step true spirit realm. The chi of half-step true spirit has reached 10 to 20%. Heiyun Grandmaster's eyes brightened for a moment before dimming again. He shook his head and smiled bitterly. It was useless. In terms of cultivation, Zhao Feng was basically on par with Heiyun Master. However, even if the chi of half-step true spirit reached 90%, it was only half-step and not the true spirit realm. Blue hair brat, you still want to put up a stubborn resistance even now? The severed blood-balled eagle laughed maniacally and licked its lips. TSK, what trump cards do you have? Take them all out. The fan-flying bandit was not afraid. Master Bai's expression was indifferent, but there was a trace of vigilance in his heart. The calm expression on Zhao Feng's face had not changed since he entered the Water Moon treasure trove. Buzz. Zhao Feng merged his half-step true spirit chi into the three-flowered treasured lotus. In an instant, dazzling tricolored petals protected Zhao Feng and Heiyun Master. Heiyun Master laughed bitterly and transferred his true power into Zhao Feng's body. Grandmaster, you should act according to the situation and save Miss Bai. Zhao Feng's voice resounded in Heiyun Master's mind. If I go and save her, what about you? Moreover, with my strength alone, how can I be a match for the green-robed old Taoist and the others? Heiyun Master almost vomited blood. Leave everything to me. Just do as I say. Zhao Feng's voice stopped abruptly. Bang! Pump! Boom! The attacks from the three true spirit realms landed on Zhao Feng at the same time. The three colored petals around the three-flowered treasured lotus dimmed at a visible rate. At this rate, he wouldn't be able to last more than a few breaths of time. At this moment, Zhao Feng made his move. He took a deep breath, and his deep blue left eye seemed to turn into a cold pond that led to a bottomless abyss. A bone-chilling coldness seeped into the mental energy dimension. The three true spirit realms that were attacking instantly felt a coldness that made their hearts uneasy. Now that I have the foundation of a half-step true spirit realm, my mental energy is comparable to those at the true spirit realm. With the God's spiritual eye, I'm unparalleled amongst those at the same cultivation level. A bone-chilling light flashed in the center of Zhao Feng's crystal-like left eye. Shua, Master Bai, and the severed blood pirate froze. The struggle on their faces was covered by endless greed and viciousness. Kill! Master Bai and the severed blood pirate leapt towards the strongest fan-flying bandit. You too, the fan-flying bandit exclaimed, and could only stop attacking Zhao Feng to deal with the frenzied attacks of Master Bai and the severed blood pirate. The scene was chaotic. Master Bai and the severed blood pirate had lost their minds and charged towards the fan-flying bandit. The fan-flying bandit had no choice but to wave his Water Moon God Peach fan and counterattack. What's going on? Heiyun Master was dazed. Why would Master Bai and the severed blood pirate attack the fan-flying bandit? On the three-flowered treasured lotus throne, Zhao Feng stood with his hands behind his back. His blue hair blew in the wind, and his expression was cold. One of his hands floated in the air as if he was controlling the heavens and earth. His left eye was bottomless and cold, as if it could freeze space itself. If one looked closely, they would find that Master Bai and the severed blood pirate's eyes flashed with a faint blue light. These people's mental energy level is on par with mine, but they've all been blinded by greed. I've used my God's spiritual eye to create a mental energy illusion. How can they block it? A cold smile appeared on Zhao Feng's face. Under the same cultivation level, he only needed one glance to decide the outcome of the battle. However, the situation wasn't so simple. Of the three at the true spirit realm, the fan-flying bandit's mental energy level was higher than Zhao Feng's and was close to the true mystic rank. Therefore, Zhao Feng's targets were Master Bai and the Severed Blood Pirate. How is this possible? Your eye bloodline can bewitch and control them? No, your mental energy level has reached the true human rank. The fan-flying bandit was stunned. He couldn't help but take in a cold breath. At this point in time, he understood that the biggest enemy in the Water Moon treasury wasn't the severed blood-balled eagle or Master Bai. The most terrifying enemy was this youth. At this point in time, Heiyun Master understood, and the shock on his face was replaced by joy. He suddenly understood what Zhao Feng had said in the 9 rooms. From now on, I control the situation. That's right. At this point in time, Zhao Feng had successfully controlled the situation. Not only had he obtained the essence of the treasury and refined the 3-flowered treasured lotus, he had also controlled the situation. How did you control 2 at the true spirit realm? Heiyun Master was in disbelief. In reality, Zhao Feng couldn't control 2 at the true spirit realm at the same time. This was a type of bewitchment and manipulation similar to sowing discord. If Master Bai and the severed blood-balled eagle weren't greedy, they wouldn't have been affected by the mental energy illusion. Furthermore, the 3-flowered treasured lotus under Zhao Feng's feet had a hypnotizing effect. What are you waiting for? Zhao Feng's voice sounded in his mental energy dimension. Yes. Heiyun Master understood. He was on a save by Qiaoyu. But Bai Qiaoyu was being held hostage by 3 half-step true spirit realm experts, and the head of the Bai family had been knocked out. Heiyun Master's cultivation was the lowest amongst the half-step true spirit realm experts. How could he save her? In the corner, the azure-robed Taoist and the flower dress girl had gaping mouths as they couldn't imagine the chaotic scene. Right at this moment, Heiyun Master charged over. Plop, plop, plop. The azure-robed Taoist and the other 2 half-step true spirit realm experts all knelt on the ground in a breath's time. Cold sweat seeped out of their foreheads. They were exhausted to the extreme and couldn't muster up any energy, as if they had been tortured for several days and nights. Heiyun Master was dazed, but from Bai Qiaoyu's angle, she could see everything clearly. In that instant, Zhao Feng's gaze swept over, and the 3 half-step true spirit realm experts all lost their battle power. What kind of method was this? Bai Qiaoyu's heart moved as she looked at the blue-haired youth. He definitely wants to use my blood of Yin to obtain the mystic flower treasured Bible. Bai Qiaoyu was slightly sad in her heart, but thinking about it, it wasn't unacceptable to give her first time to this youth who wasn't much older than her. At least it was better than being taken by those thieves. At this moment in time, her imagination ran wild. Right at this moment, the situation changed once again. Due to Zhao Feng being distracted and dealing with the azure-robed Taoist and the other 2, the effect on the 2 true spirit realm experts was greatly reduced. Master Bai and the severed blood-balled eagle had almost recovered. Woo! Zhao Feng took a deep breath and circulated his god's spiritual eye to the maximum as he released the 3-flowered treasured lotus fragrance. Soon, the 2 true spirit realm experts once again leapt towards the fan-flying bandit. Shua! The 3-flowered treasured lotus under Zhao Feng's feet suddenly shook. The 3-flowered treasured lotus brought Zhao Feng to the mystic flower treasured Bible. At this moment in time, the mystic flower treasured Bible was right in front of Zhao Feng's eyes. Not good. This brat wants the mystic flower treasured Bible. The fan-flying bandit's expression changed dramatically. He saw Heiyun Master bring Bai Qiaoyu over to Zhao Feng's side. Zhao Feng used the fragrance of the 3-flowered treasured lotus and the power of the god's spiritual eye to stop the fan-flying bandit. Bai Qiaoyu's clear eyes flashed with tears as she looked at the blue-haired youth who had single-handedly controlled the situation. Zhao Feng didn't even need to use force. One of the 3-flowered treasured lotus fragrance could even affect those at the true spirit realm. However, Bai Qiaoyu had already prepared her heart. This youth had an eye bloodline, and such a noble bloodline that it saved her from the tiger's mouth. If she had to sacrifice herself, she would only choose Zhao Feng. This was the only person she had a good impression of. Little brother, Heiyun Master brought Bai Qiaoyu in front of Zhao Feng with a complex expression. At this point in time, Zhao Feng was in control of everything. As long as he destroyed Bai Qiaoyu's body, he would be able to obtain the mystic flower, treasured Bible, and open the exit. Everything, let's end this. Zhao Feng suddenly took a deep breath and circulated his qi of half-step true spirit, lightning, and bloodline power into his palm. His palm was surrounded by dark green lightning, condensed to the extreme and dazzling. Let's end this. Zhao Feng's strongest attack landed on the mystic flower treasure Bible. Boom! In the next instant, the purple copper coffin started to shake. Crack! The cracking of the mystic ice crystal triggered a series of mechanisms. Oh my God, what are you doing? The fan-flying bandit felt that the entire secret tomb was sinking and was about to collapse at any moment. You actually... Heian Master was dazed. The Water Moon Pirate's corpse had already said that if he forcefully took the mystic flower treasured Bible, the entire Water Moon Cave would collapse. Rumble. The entire Water Moon Cave started to shake. The fan-flying bandit was stunned and fearful as he pointed at Zhao Feng with a trembling voice. Master Bai and the severed blood-balled eagle, who had just woken up, were also stunned by the scene in front of them. Bai Qiaoyu was also dazed. You actually... Everyone stared at Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng didn't move and thought in his heart, I have the 3-flowered treasured lotus. Even if this place collapses, I still have a chance to escape. At this moment, the mystic flower treasured Bible also landed in his hands, but a layer of cracks appeared on its surface. The weird thing was that the Water Moon Cave only shook for a moment, but it didn't actually collapse. Chapter 298. The rumbling mausoleum slowly calmed down. Third floor of the coffin. Dead silence. Everyone held their breaths as their eyes locked onto the mystic flower treasured Bible in Zhao Feng's hand. Cracks appeared on the surface of the mystic flower treasured Bible as if it could shatter at any moment. Brat, stop! The fan-flying bandit roared as his eyes turned red. This was a sacred art of the wicked path. How could it be destroyed? The severed blood pirate, azure-robed Taoist, flower dress girl, and company all had nervous expressions. The mystic flower treasure Bible was a sacred art of the wicked path that could absorb yin and yang, allowing one to progress extremely quickly. This art was the foundation of the Water Moon Pirate when he was alive. Oh, you're really going to destroy it? Heian Master couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe that Zhao Feng would have the courage to destroy the mystic flower treasure Bible. Tears flickered in by Qiaoyu's eyes as she looked at the cold youth in front of her. Her heart was deeply moved. She had already prepared herself to sacrifice herself to help him. However, Zhao Feng's actions had shocked everyone. He wasn't afraid of destroying the mystic flower treasure Bible. If the Water Moon Cave was going to collapse, then let it collapse. Following the evolution of the god's spiritual eye, Zhao Feng's personality had become even colder and more domineering. His left eye was a faint blue of ice, like a cold pond that led to an endless realm of death. Crack! Lightning flashed in Zhao Feng's palm and under everyone's gaze. The mystic flower treasured Bible was crushed into pieces. After the 100-flower sack, Zhao Feng had also destroyed the mystic flower treasure Bible. 2 of the Water Moon 4 treasures had already been destroyed by Zhao Feng. You! The fan-flying bandit was dazed as his body trembled with endless anger. Wah! A trickle of blood leaked out from the corner of his mouth. The sacred items of the wicked path, the 100-flower sack and the mystic flower treasure Bible, had been destroyed by this youth in front of him. You destroyed the mystic flower treasured Bible. Master Bai could barely breathe as he spoke. The severed blood-balled eagle, the green-robed old Taoist, and the others were stunned. I've destroyed the mystic flower treasure book. Will the Water Moon cavern collapse? Or Zhao Feng's eyes flickered. If he was not wrong, the key mechanisms of the Water Moon Cave were integrated into the mystic flower treasure Bible. Rumble. The Water Moon cavern and the purple copper coffin began to shake violently again, causing everyone to lose their footing. Ha ha! A burst of laughter suddenly resounded through the entire Water Moon Cave. Everyone's hearts trembled. This voice did not come from anyone present. Master, The youth's body shook as he stared at the crystal coffin. That laughter came from the crystal coffin. The water moon pirate's body was once again reconstructed, and his eyes were like lightning as he radiated a pressure that wasn't any weaker than the true Lord rank. Master, the fan-flying bandit and the flower-dressed girl kneeled on the ground with faces full of fear. Fated one, I admire your courage. The water moon pirate slowly got up, his life energy rising strangely. Master, you've been resurrected. The fan-flying bandit duo were stunned. Resurrected? Zhao Feng found it hard to believe. Had the water moon pirate really been resurrected? Heian Master's face was full of shock as he stared at the water moon pirate, who was no different from a normal person. There was thought and intelligence in the water moon pirate's eyes. It wasn't a simple reconstructed. When I set up the mechanisms, I set up two endings, one in the light and one in the dark. The one in the light was to sacrifice the blood of Een to obtain the mystic flower treasured Bible and continue my legend. As for the two that luckily escaped, it was just my intention. Cunning flashed in the water moon pirate's eyes. Hearing this, Master Bai and the severed blood-bald eagle's expressions became slightly ugly. So, all of this was the water moon pirate's plan. Of the two people who escaped from the mausoleum, one brought out a messy map, and the other brought out information about the blood of Een. And this is just the one in the light. From now on, there's another water moon pirate. Mockery appeared on the water moon pirate's face. Everyone paused. The water moon pirate roamed the continent 100 years ago. His name was well known, and he lived a carefree life. Wouldn't others be envious of his achievements? However, my greatest achievement was only escaping from the pursuit of a true lord rank. Taking Een to replenish my yang isn't the Tao of the king. The water moon pirate took a deep breath as a weird light flashed in his eyes. His eyes scanned over his disciples and the fan-flying bandit before landing on Zhao Feng. Continuing my path and inheritance is just a small Tao and can't be compared to the true Tao of the king. That's why I fell into Empress Qin's hands. The water moon pirate stared closely at Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng's expression was wary, but he didn't back down. Then your ending. From this, we can see that the light is very small. So, I set up another trap. Only those who are truly ambitious and courageous will dare to destroy the mystic flower treasure Bible. Only then will their future achievements surpass mine. The water moon treasury is just a stepping stone for them. The water moon pirate looked deeply at Zhao Feng, one in the light and one in the dark. One was to continue the inheritance, and the other was to surpass it. Compared to this, the latter was the bigger picture. Everyone's hearts shook when they heard this. The fan-flying bandit revealed a look of shame. With his personality, he would at most continue his master's inheritance. The one with the greatest courage was this youth who had touched the water moon pirate's trap. Master, how did you revive? The flower-dressed girl asked carefully. This is a secret technique from the Heaven's legacy inheritance. It can seal the life force of a person when they were alive and turn it into another form. Even sovereigns at the origin core realm might not be able to see through it. One day in the future, through a special trigger, with the help of reflective reconstruction, I will be able to obtain a short period of false resurrection. The water moon pirate explained. Zhao Feng indeed found that the life force of the water moon pirate was fading as if he was about to die. The essence of this secret technique was to move the lifespan before death to a certain time after death. It didn't go against the laws of the heaven's path. Knowing the truth, the three at the true spirit realm let out a long breath. If the water moon pirate really revived, even the three of them combined might not be his match. The heaven's legacy inheritance is indeed worthy of being the most ancient and mysterious. It even has such a secret technique. Heian Master was in awe. Shua! With a flash, the water moon pirate disappeared. In the next instant, he appeared in front of Zhao Feng and slowly raised his hand. Zhao Feng didn't feel any enmity and stared straight at the water moon pirate. The water moon pirate's life force was quickly fading, and he wouldn't be able to live for long. On the other hand, Zhao Feng didn't fear mental energy techniques. The Water Moon Pirate's hand landed on Zhao Feng's body, and a surge of pure power entered his body. What? This is the source of true spirit. Master actually preserved his source of true spirit. The expressions of the fan-flying bandit and company changed dramatically. The so-called source of true spirit was the source of power of those at the true spirit realm and the source of their chi of true spirit. The Water Moon Pirate's cultivation back then was close to the true lord rank, and his source of true spirit had been sealed for 100 years, but he was still stronger than normal true mystic rank cultivators. Could this be the legendary enlightenment technique? Zhao Feng didn't move, but his god's spiritual eye scanned every change in his body. The Water Moon Pirate didn't directly merge his source of true spirit into Zhao Feng's body, because that would shake the latter's foundation. He first used his source of true spirit to open up Zhao Feng's dantian and cleanse his body. Then he sealed most of his source of true spirit in the depths of Zhao Feng's dantian. This sealing technique was extremely mysterious and could temporarily change his power into another form. Zhao Feng felt his chi of half-step true spirit reach 50%. This wouldn't shake Zhao Feng's foundation. Firstly, Zhao Feng's mental energy level was high enough that he could control the true chi of true spirit as long as it wasn't too much. Secondly, the Water Moon Pirate had opened up his dantian, meridians, and body. Your mental energy level is so high. If you're willing, I can help you break through to the true spirit realm right now. The Water Moon Pirate said with joy. Not right now. Zhao Feng's voice sounded in the Water Moon Pirate's mind. He had to rely on his own effort step by step to increase his strength. Only then would his foundation be stable and his heart would be at ease. The Water Moon Pirate paused before laughing towards the sky. Good, good, good. I've underestimated you. With such a powerful source of mental energy and eye bloodline, even without the Water Moon Treasury, you can easily surpass me in the future. Soon, the Water Moon Pirate's source of true spirit was sealed in Zhao Feng's body through a special method. Zhao Feng's chi of half-step true spirit had reached 50 to 60%, surpassing Heiyun Master. At this moment, 80 to 90% of the Water Moon Pirate's life force had disappeared. There's still one last secret inheritance. Don't resist with your mental energy. The Water Moon Pirate's voice sounded in Zhao Feng's mind. Zhao Feng retracted his mental energy and felt a surge of information enter his mind. This information was related to the Heaven's Legacy inheritance and included some blueprints as well as a map. Heaven's Legacy map. Zhao Feng was stunned and almost blurted out. This is the Heaven's Legacy map I stole from the Imperials. There are a total of 48 Heaven's Legacy maps, and any one of them has the chance to comprehend some of the secrets of the Heaven's Legacy inheritance. The Water Moon Pirate explained. After doing all this, the Water Moon Pirate's eyes dimmed as his life force disappeared to the limit. He returned to the crystal coffin and scanned over the youth in brocade and flower dress girl. Gina, Master. The fan-flying bandit and flower dress girl both trembled. Although the Water Moon Pirate was about to die, the dignity of their master couldn't be disobeyed. The two of you can't be his enemy. If you're willing, you can become his servant. This is my will and advice. After saying this, the Water Moon Pirate's life force disappeared, and he closed his eyes. Rumble. Suddenly, the entire Water Moon cave started to shake violently, and it started to sink. A bronze door opened above everyone's head and shined brightly. Don't be his enemy? How is it possible for us to be this brat's servant? The youth in brocade and flower dress girl half kneeled on the ground as disdain flashed through their eyes. They didn't put the advice of the Water Moon Pirate to heart. Chapter 299. The Water Moon Cave shook violently and started to collapse. This time, it was truly collapsing, and the entire cave would be buried under the riverbed. The only entrance was the shining bronze gate above their heads. You guys leave first. Zhao Feng was the closest to the entrance and told Heiyun Master and Bai Qiaoyu to leave through the exit first. Then, he stood on the 3 flower-treasured lotus and blocked the exit. Zhao Feng, what are you doing? The expressions of the fan-flying bandit and the severed blood-balled eagle changed dramatically. Master Bai and the severed blood-balled eagle's expressions also changed dramatically. Now that Zhao Feng had obtained the water moon pirate source of true spirit, his strength had increased dramatically. If he blocked the exit and used his god's spiritual eye and the 3-flowered treasured lotus, he might be able to keep them down. Zhao Feng's move was too vicious. Even at the last moment, he still had the initiative. Zhao Feng, Master has already left a will. We won't be enemies with you anymore. The flower dress girl said anxiously. The entire water moon cave was about to collapse, and even those at the true spirit realm wouldn't be able to escape unscathed. On the other hand, Zhao Feng had the 3-flowered treasured lotus and had the strongest defense. Zhao Feng, leave. We will make things hard for you. The fan-flying bandit said with a dark expression. They indeed didn't put the water moon pirates well to heart, but the current situation wasn't in their favor. If Zhao Feng wanted to block the exit and use his god's spiritual eye to affect the other two at the true spirit realm, they might actually have a chance to kill all of them. AI, Zhao Feng, I didn't recognize MT Tai. Please let us live. Master Bai said helplessly, dejected and lonely. When the water moon pirate briefly came back to life and deciphered the layout, he understood that he had lost. In terms of schemes, he and the severed blood-balled eagle had been tricked by the water moon pirate 100 years ago. In terms of wits and courage, they had also lost to Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng's breadth of mind and strategy far surpassed them. He had opened up a dark plot and even won the water moon pirate's praise. Of course, the most important thing was still Zhao Feng's strength. Even if Old Bai and I teamed up, we would still be controlled by his eye bloodline. The severed blood-balled eagle revealed a bitter smile. The two of them had basically lost the courage to compete with Zhao Feng. The advice of the water moon pirates will, as outsiders, they could see the deep meaning behind it. As a legendary figure of the past, how could the wisdom and foresight of the water moon pirate be comparable to an ordinary person? At this moment, Zhao Feng had the advantage of time and place, advancing and retreating at will. His god spiritual eye had the ability to see through the mind of others. He had successfully controlled the emotions of Master Bai and the severed blood-balled eagle. The fan-flying bandit and the fan-flying bandit didn't listen to their master's advice and didn't give up. Zhao Feng knew this very well. You guys leave first. Zhao Feng moved to the side, and his eyes scanned over Master Bai and the severed blood-balled eagle. Yes, yes. The group acted as if they had been pardoned and passed through the entrance. Zhao Feng only blocked the fan-flying bandit and the fan-flying bandit. Brat, don't go too far. Even if you have the 3-flowered, treasured lotus and master source of true spirit, you won't be able to break through to the true spirit realm in a short amount of time and won't be my match. The fan-flying bandit's expression was dark. In a one-on-one fight, he didn't fear Zhao Feng and had an 80 to 90% chance of winning. However, the problem was that the entire water moon paradise was collapsing. If things went wrong, they would all be buried in the endless river. Because of the water moon pirate, I'll let you live for now. The 3-flowered treasured lotus under Zhao Feng's feet flashed and brought him through the bronze door. Only then did the fan-flying bandit and the fan-flying bandit let out a breath. If Zhao Feng wanted to block the entrance, he could use his god's spiritual eye and the 3-flowered treasured lotus to block them for dozens of breaths. At that time, the entire water moon paradise would collapse, and they would most likely die. Shua! In the next instant, Zhao Feng appeared in the air above the river. The bronze door contained the power of a short-distance teleportation array. Zhao Feng knew arrays, so he naturally understood. Therefore, he could use the last moment of the water moon paradise collapsing to escape and bury the fan-flying bandit and the fan-flying bandit forever. Shua! Shua! Soon, the fan-flying bandit and the fan-flying bandit also appeared in the air above the river. Everyone that passed through the entrance was teleported into the air above the river. Master Bai Xiaoyu, the severed blood-balled eagle and company were all present. Zhao Feng, you're not the successor of the 100-flower chapter, but you dare to take my master's belongings. hand over the 3 flower treasured lotus and everything else and cripple your own cultivation, and I'll let you live. The fan-flying bandit's face was twisted after escaping danger. A smile of mockery appeared on Zhao Feng's face. He had already expected this situation, but because of the water moon pirate, he didn't go too far. Everyone, please move aside. Zhao Feng didn't allow them to say anything as the 3 flower treasured lotus under his feet trembled and a beautiful 3-colored lotus leapt through the air towards the fan-flying bandit. He didn't like to waste words. If they wanted to fight, then he would. In an instant, arcs of lightning surrounded Zhao Feng's body, and the sound of thunder boomed in the air. The chi of half-step true spirit had reached 50 to 60%, and the power of Zhao Feng's lightning inheritance had reached a whole new level. At every moment, the power from his body was comparable to the lightning halo. In other words, it allowed the ring of lightning to continue exploding, and its power would only be stronger than before. The arcs of lightning seemed to have their own intelligence as they charged towards the fan-flying bandit and the fan-flying bandit. The flower-dressed girl instantly fell to the ground and lost the ability to fight. The fan-flying bandit was both shocked and angry as he waved his water moon god peach fan. A terrifying fan-shaped ripple spread out at a high speed and blew away the nearby trees and hills. Boom! The 2 powerful forces clashed in the air, and the river water shot into the sky. A curtain of water dozens of yards high appeared between Zhao Feng and the fan-flying bandit. Master Bai, the severed blood-balled eagle, and company nearby clicked their tongues. Zhao Feng's current strength was comparable to the true human rank of the true spirit realm. The chi of half-step true spirit and normal true force are indeed different. The power of the first level of the lightning inheritance has been fully unleashed. Zhao Feng nodded his head in his heart. Of course, he needed to merge his bloodline power into his attacks to increase his battle power. After all, the fan-flying bandit strength was much stronger than normal true human rank experts. Lightning globe. A half-a-foot wide lightning globe condensed in Zhao Feng's palm and shot towards the fan-flying bandit. The fan-flying bandit gritted his teeth and tried to counterattack, but was unable to gain any advantage. In terms of offense, he had the water moon god peach fan, so he was obviously stronger than Zhao Feng. However, Zhao Feng's 3-flowered treasured lotus had strong defensive and support abilities that countered him. Of the water moon 4 treasures, the 3-flowered treasured lotus was the most valuable and countered the water moon god peach fan. Damn it, my water moon god peach fan hasn't been refined yet and can't unleash its true power. The fan-flying bandit's cultivation and battle power surpassed normal true human rank experts, but he couldn't do anything to Zhao Feng. Once he got too close, Zhao Feng's 3-flowered treasured lotus would give off a hypnotic scent that made him more tired. Zhao Feng's usage of the 3-flowered treasured lotus became more and more proficient. Although the 3-flowered treasured lotus didn't have any offensive abilities, it gave him powerful defense, movement, and support. Even if he can use the power of the true spirit realm and fight against the fan-flying bandit with the 3-flowered treasured lotus, his cultivation is only at the half-step true spirit realm and can't absorb the heaven-earth yuan qi quickly. He shouldn't be able to last long, Master Bai said deeply. Although it was rare for someone to use battle power above their cultivation, it couldn't last long. However, Zhao Feng's situation was slightly weird. He had a bloodline power that increased his battle power, and his god's spiritual eye that could see through everything had locked onto the Water Moon Pirate's flaws. However, this wasn't the main reason. Zhao Feng's Dantian contained the Water Moon Pirate's source of true spirit. When the energy in his Dantian was used up, a wisp of source of true spirit would seep in. Therefore, Zhao Feng's endurance was stronger than imagined. After a while, it was the fan-flying bandit who was affected by the hypnotic scent and was mentally tired. This is the chance. A cold light flashed in Zhao Feng's eyes. Shua! The dazzling tricolored lotus light streaked across the sky. Zhao Feng quickly moved in front of the fan-flying bandit. At the same time, the hypnotic scent was activated. You! The fan-flying bandit was about to counterattack when he suddenly felt a faint blue left eye. His mind suddenly shook, and he immediately struggled with all his might. A strange mental power was tempting and pulling at his mind consciousness. Under normal situations, the fan-flying bandit would be able to resist. However, after a while, he had been affected by the hypnotic scent and was mentally tired. Zhao Feng opened his god's spiritual eye and pulled him into the illusion prison, a nice blue space. The fan-flying bandit was bound by the blue chains of lightning. Ew, how is this possible? The fan-flying bandit struggled and finally revealed a look of fear. With Zhao Feng's god's spiritual eye, 10 hours here was equivalent to one breath outside. Outside, one breath of time quickly passed. The fan-flying bandit struggled and finally broke free from the illusion prison, but he was exhausted. Shua! A blade-like electric blade flashed in front of him. Ah! The fan-flying bandit who had just woken up screamed. His right arm had been cut off by Zhao Feng, and blood splattered everywhere. One breath was enough to decide the outcome. At this point in time, the fan-flying bandit was mentally weak and had lost his soul. His right arm had been cut off, and he screamed in pain. Master Bai, the severed blood-balled eagle, and the others who were nearby couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. This youth is too terrifying. The two looked at each other and couldn't help but rejoice that they didn't continue to be enemies with Zhao Feng and only watch from the side. Master Bai couldn't help but think of the advice the Water Moon Pirate gave to his two disciples before he died. According to the Water Moon Pirate, not only should they not be enemies with this youth, they should become his servants. The result was that the fan-flying bandit was at a disadvantage. The Water Moon Pirate is indeed worthy of being a legendary figure from 100 years ago. He has great foresight, Master Bai sighed in his heart. At this point in time, he had a deeper understanding of the Water Moon Pirate's last words. Brat, my 100-flower chapter will definitely not let you go. The fan-flying bandit's screams pierced through the sky. He abandoned one of his arms and took the flower-dressed woman with him as he tore through the air. The flower-dressed girl was filled with regret as she thought of her master's wisdom and schemes. Why didn't she listen to his last words? Chapter 300. The cunning fan-flying bandit had paid the price of an arm and escaped with heavy injuries. The Water Moon Pirate's words still lingered in her ears. The two of you must not be enemies with him. If you're willing, you can become his servant. This is Master's will and advice. At this moment, the flower-dressed girl was filled with regret. Although the Shueyue pirate was dead, as a legendary figure who dominated the country 100 years ago, his foresight and last words could not be underestimated. Master, when you were alive, I always listened to you and didn't dare to go against you. But you've been dead for 100 years. Let me make my own decision this time. Become his servant? Ha ha ha, what a joke. The fan-flying bandit didn't have any intentions of going back on his words. Instead, his competitive spirit was ignited and he laughed coldly with a cruel expression. After I refine the Water Moon God Peach fan, I'll use this opportunity to break through to the true mystic rank and rebuild the 100-flower chapter. At that time, I'll take back everything I've lost. The flower-dressed girl couldn't help but persuade. Brother Jean, we've obtained the Water Moon God Peach fan and many treasures. Why don't we listen to Master and not be enemies with him? The Water Moon God Peach fan can only be perfect when used with the 3-flowered treasured lotus. That brat's treasures are several times more valuable than ours, and he's also lost an arm. This hatred will be carved into my bones, and if I don't take revenge, I won't be able to get rid of my heart demon. The fan-flying bandit's eyes were cold and filled with hatred. This time, he had meticulously planned for the Water Moon treasure trove and grasped all the opportunities. But unexpectedly, all of this was destroyed by the youth that had appeared out of nowhere. He was just about to obtain the 100-flower sack, but it was destroyed by this brat. His biggest advantage was the mechanism's master, but it was taken by this brat. The most valuable treasure, the 3-flowered treasured lotus, was stolen by this brat. In the end, Even the evil path's mystic flower treasure cannon was destroyed by that youth in front of everyone. Unknowingly, this hatred had accumulated to the extreme and almost left a shadow in the fan-flying bandit's heart demon. If he didn't get rid of this mental barrier, his state of mind wouldn't be able to open up. The woman in the flower dress sighed in her heart and did not object anymore. According to the fan-flying bandit's plan, he indeed had the advantage. After all, he hadn't refined the water moon god peach fan yet, and had hopes of reaching the true mystic rank. However, a woman's intuition told her that although senior brother Jean seemed to have a great chance of winning, it was extremely likely that he would fail again. After all, back in the water moon cave, the fan-flying bandit had the upper hand, but in the end, Zhao Feng was still able to turn the tables. Near the riverbank, Zhao Feng watched as the fan-flying bandit left. His mind was tired, and his true force was quickly being consumed. The battle just then was dangerous. If it wasn't for his source of true spirit and the 3-flowered treasured lotus, he wouldn't have been able to slice off the fan-flying bandit's arm so easily. However, the battle just now was the most glorious battle of Zhao Feng's life. Even in the Canopy Great Country, it was rare for someone at the Ascended Realm to heavily injure someone at the True Spirit Realm and cut off an arm. One had to know that the fan-flying bandit's strength was even stronger than First Elder of the Broken Moon clan. The True Spirit Realm had 3 realms: the True Human rank, True Mystic rank, and True Lord rank. The fan-flying bandit had definitely reached the peak True Human rank. In the 3 realms of heaven, there was a difference in strength between the 3 minor realms. For example, when one had just stepped into the True Spirit Realm, they would be at the beginning stages of the True Human rank. After a bit of consolidation, they would be at the early stages of the True Human rank, which was around Haiyan Master's level. If one's understanding increased, they would be at the late stages of the True Human rank. First Elder of the Broken Moon clan was between the late stages and peak stages of the True Human rank. Zhao Feng had a hard time defeating the fan-flying bandit just then, but if it was someone at the early stages of the True Human rank like Haiyan Master, they would be able to decide the outcome with just a sweep of their god spiritual eye. If Haiyan Master hadn't improved, I would be able to defeat him in one glance. Zhao Feng couldn't help but be excited. The experts at the True Spirit Realm that the clan couldn't even reach would be slain by him. Of course, with Zhao Feng's current strength, it wasn't enough for him to return to the 13 countries and change the Broken Moon clan situation. Up until today, First Elder's mission hadn't been completed yet. Everyone, I'll be leaving now. Zhao Feng didn't stay for long and said goodbye to Master Bai by Xiaoyu, the Severed Blood-Bald Eagle and company. Master Bai, the Severed Blood-Bald Eagle, and the others had deep respect in their eyes. The fan-flying bandit that the 2 of them had teamed up against had been heavily injured by this youth. Brother Zhao, have a safe journey. The enmity from before has been written off. If you have time, come visit the Transverse Water Stronghold. If you need anything, you can come find the Severed Blood Pirates. Master Bai and the Severed Blood-Bald Eagle said. Zhao Feng's strength had won their respect. Bai Qiaoyu waved her hands and jumped around excitedly. Only when the blue-haired youth walked further and further away did her expression become slightly disappointed. Haiyan Master also left with Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng decided to send Haiyan Master to a safe place. You're going to the capital? We're going the same way. I have a friend at the True Spirit Realm there who can take refuge. Haiyan Master said with a smile. Zhao Feng put away the 3-flowered treasured lotus and summoned the azure sharp swallow. The sky became wider and wider. The little thieving cat was still sleeping in the spiritual pet bag. Maybe it had eaten too many treasures in the Watermoon's secret cave and couldn't digest them all. Zhao Feng found that the little thieving cat had entered a special stage of evolution. He wore the Heaven Luo mystic robe and sat cross-legged with his eyes closed. Zhao Feng's cultivation was high enough, and he had the source of true spirit within his body. His comprehension speed was extremely fast. Breaking through to the True Spirit Realm was just a matter of time. It could be as short as 1 or 2 months, or as long as half a year. Apart from cultivating, Zhao Feng also organized his gains from the Watermoon Treasury. Mystic Flowers Saint Liquid, Life Extending Pill, Mystic Snake Blood Whip, 3-flowered Treasured Lotus, Sky Mystic Treasure Robe, 100 Dissolving Pill, 5 Elemental Piercing Crystal. These resources and treasures greatly increased Zhao Feng's potential. The most valuable was the 3-flowered Treasured Lotus. Next was the Mystic Snake Blood Whip, Sky Mystic Treasure Robe, and Mystic Flower Saint Liquid. The Mystic Snake Blood Whip was a unique weapon that could absorb the blood of experts to increase its quality. The Sky Mystic Treasure Robe was impervious to fire and water and almost indestructible. As long as it was worn, it could absorb energy attacks without using true force. The Mystic Flower Saint Liquid could increase the chances of reaching the true mystic rank. The 5 Elemental Piercing Crystal could increase the power of a low-tier spiritual grade weapon by half a rank. If used with other materials, it could even reach the middle-tier spiritual grade. Apart from that, the Life Extending Pill and 100 Dissolving Pill were also extremely rare. You have so many treasures. When you go to the Canopy Great Country, you can put some that you don't need on the auction house. I'm sure you can sell them for a good price. However, the Watermoon Pirate has some items that you shouldn't easily sell. After all, some of the items were stolen from the Imperials. Heiyun Master smiled and suggested. The reason why he was able to escape unscathed was all thanks to Zhao Feng. Zhao Feng didn't mistreat him and gave some of the resources that he didn't need to Heiyun Master as a reward. I've long heard of the prosperity of the Canopy Great Country capital. I'll have to see it when I go. Expectation and yearning appeared in Zhao Feng's eyes. The Canopy Great Country capital was the territory of the Imperials, and the relationships between the families were complicated. Heiyun Master thought that the reason why Zhao Feng didn't hesitate to go to the Canopy Great Country capital was definitely related to Empress Qin. In the Watermoon Cave, Zhao Feng had mentioned that the Watermoon Pirate's last wish was related to Empress Qin. What was the Watermoon Pirate's last wish? Even Heiyun Master was curious. However, he didn't know that the reason why Zhao Feng wanted to see Empress Qin wasn't just because of the Watermoon Pirate's last wish, but also because of his master. When the target got closer, Zhao Feng found that Empress Qin was shrouded in mystery. There was once a sage who took in 3 female disciples. The first inherited the Tao of life, the second inherited the Tao of charm, and the third inherited the Tao of entertainment. Lu Qinxin's master was the eldest disciple of the Tao of life, and her mother was the third disciple of the Tao of entertainment. Now, of the 3 female disciples, only the inheritor of the Tao of charm was left. This mysterious and noble Empress Qin had single-handedly sent the Watermoon Pirate to his grave. The Watermoon Pirate's one, the 3-flowered treasured lotus, was related to Empress Qin. Master, how much do you know about Empress Qin? Zhao Feng studied the Mystic Snake Blood Whip and asked. AI, it's hard to explain Empress Qin. Some people say that she's a beauty that can bring calamity to the country and people. Others say that she's extremely intelligent and brought glory to the Imperials and stabilized the country. The Watermoon Pirate shook his head. Zhao Feng remained silent. Empress Qin was a controversial person, similar to many legendary figures in history. For example, the Scarlet Moon Patriarch. Some people admired his glorious achievements and how he almost unified the continent. However, there were also people who hated him for bringing disaster to the continent. Time passed by quickly. For the next month, Zhao Feng spent most of his time on the Azure Sharp Swallow. Zhao Feng had a rough understanding of the Mystic Snake Blood Whip's abilities and usage. He wore the Sky Mystic Treasure Robe and had an unassuming dark silver belt on his waist. It was hard to tell that it was a spiritual grade item. With Zhao Feng's current cultivation and the sealed source of true spirit, he could use the Mystic Snake Blood Whip as he pleased and even disguise it. A spiritual grade item was extremely powerful, and Zhao Feng's full strength could flatten a small mountain. In the 13 clans, a spiritual grade item like this was the treasure of the sect. Many experts at the true spirit realm, such as Heiyun Master, couldn't even get their hands on a spiritual grade item. However, Zhao Feng had more than 10 spiritual grade items, and most of them were high quality. The Mystic Snake Blood Whip was one of the peak quality items. Every time Zhao Feng thought about it, he would feel good in his heart. "We're here." Zhao Feng sat on the azure sharp swallow, and the flying beasts nearby became more frequent. His gaze looked into the distance and saw the outline of the capital. It was the size of 10 flooding lake cities, and his heart shook. Heian Master was slightly surprised. What was here? The canopy capital was still 1,000 miles away. Chapter 301. The area in front of them was flat, and from 1,000 miles away, Zhao Feng could already see the outline of the capital. Zhao Feng suddenly felt a weird movement coming from the spiritual pet bag. Meow meow. Within the spiritual pet bag, the little thieving cat had finally woken up after sleeping for a month. Its black eyes opened and gave off a deep feeling before returning to normal. At this time, the little thieving cat's fur had turned from gray to faint silver. Its body size had changed slightly, becoming more robust and powerful. Although the overall change wasn't big, Zhao Feng's God Spiritual eye found that the little thieving cat had changed inside and out. Meow meow. The little thieving cat stood on its owner's shoulder and threw out 2 bronze coins which rang in the air. Heian Master looked on curiously. Zhao Feng was used to it, and the little divinity's nature was acting up again. Meow meow. After the little thieving cat finished divining, it gestured to Zhao Feng and then shook its head and sighed. What does it mean? Heian Master was surprised. It told me not to go to the capital. My luck isn't stable, and it's hard to predict. Zhao Feng shook his head helplessly. The canopy capital was his destination for this trip. Furthermore, he had gained a lot from the Water Moon treasury, and his luck was full. A person's luck couldn't always be so good. A cat that knows divination is really amazing. There was a mysterious sage in the 6 Warlock Holy Tower who was extremely knowledgeable. He was proficient in astronomy, geography, and even divination. It is said that he also had a strange cat with him. Heian Master exclaimed, "Oh, 6 Warlock Holy Tower?" Zhao Feng's heart moved. "Sage? Weird cat. Meow meow." Hearing this, the little thieving cat's eyes lit up. Zhao Feng curled his lips and said, "Thieving cat, don't tell me it's from your race." Meow meow. The little thieving cat angrily waved its paws and gestured that it was unique. Heian Master laughed. The little thieving cat's appearance made the journey less depressing. Zhao Feng stopped cultivating. His chi of half-step true spirit had reached 60%, and he could try to break through to the true spirit realm. In reality, as long as one reached half-step true spirit realm, they would be able to break through to the true spirit realm. However, the true spirit realm was a completely new level of the true spirit realm. It surpassed mortals, and the chances of success were extremely low. Even the shedding spiritual pill could only increase the success rate by 20%. The higher the conversion rate of the chi of half-step true spirit, the higher the chance of breaking through. If one's chi of half-step true spirit reached 90%, they would have at least a 50% chance of success. However, the higher the conversion rate, the slower it became, especially after 50%. The azure sharp swallow spread its wings, and the distance to the capital became closer and closer. Later on, ordinary experts could see the majestic outline of the capital, and the number of spiritual pets in the sky also increased. Occasionally, one could see carriages or palanquins speeding through the air. The wind billowed and flames billowed. It was very eye-catching. As expected of the imperial city, Zhao Feng's footsteps didn't slow down at all. Ever since he had arrived at the Canopy Great Country, he had a knot in his heart, and that was to complete First Elder's task. And now, this goal was getting closer and closer. In fact, it was almost within reach. A flying carriage suddenly appeared in front of them and was pulled by 2 flying cloud horses, heading in the direction of Zhao Feng and Heian. Heian Master immediately signaled for Zhao Feng to go around. In the capital, those that could have such a carriage weren't simple and were at least at the true spirit realm, usually at the true mystic rank or above. Just as Zhao Feng was about to tell the azure sharp swallow to go around, a voice sounded from the flying carriage. Zhao Feng, according to the news from the Iron Blood religion, the Flooding Lake City Lord has put out a bounty for you, especially for the Imperial City. The Flooding Lake Liu family has even reached an agreement with the Imperials. The curtain of the carriage opened halfway and revealed a wrinkled, old-robed elder. "Greetings, Lord Protector." Heiyun Master recognized this person and immediately bowed. Zhao Feng was surprised. He didn't think that this Heiyun Master had some relationship with the Iron Blood religion. The ancient robed elder in front of them had reached the true mystic rank and was an invincible expert in the 13 countries. "Thank you, Protector, for your reminder." Zhao Feng quickly expressed his thanks. To remind him, the Iron Blood religion had sent a protector. From this, it could be seen how important they were. "Zhao Feng, the Deputy Patriarch advises you not to go to the capital." The old man in the ancient robe gave him a meaningful look. "Huh!" As soon as he said this, the curtain of the flying carriage fell down and it shot into the sky with a speed comparable to normal true human rank cultivators. The flying carriage and Zhao Feng had only been in contact for 2 or 3 breaths of time. Whether Zhao Feng heard it or not, the Iron Blood religion's words had already been passed. Zhao Feng understood the Iron Blood religion's intentions. The Iron Blood religion was on the opposite side of the Imperials, and if Zhao Feng was roped in by Empress Qin, he would become enemies with the Iron Blood religion in the future. This interlude soon passed. Zhao Feng's decision hadn't changed. Empress Qin was someone he had to see. An hour later, the Canopy Sky Kingdom appeared in his sight, and under the setting sun, the ancient city seemed to be ancient and majestic. Zhao Feng took back the azure sharp swallow and entered the Canopy Great Country capital. At the entrance of the capital, Zhao Feng saw himself amongst the many wanted posters. It was an azure-haired youth with a little gray cat. The young man's hair and left eye were both dark cyan, which made him stand out from the crowd. The little thieving cat hid in the spiritual pet bag unwillingly. At this moment, Zhao Feng had a head of blue hair, and he had taken off his eye patch. The bloodline power in his body circulated, and a layer of faint blue blood entered the dimension of his left eye. By now, Zhao Feng's control of the god spiritual eye had become better. Almost with a thought, the blue light in his left eye disappeared, returning to a dull black color. Blue hair and black eyes. After a simple disguise, Zhao Feng had turned into a cold blue-haired youth. When entering the city, the guards looked at Zhao Feng a few more times before instinctively glancing at the wanted posters and shaking their heads. The youth in the portrait had azure hair, and his left eye was either dark azure or he wore an eye patch. This blue-haired youth didn't fit the requirements. After the god spiritual eye turned blue, Zhao Feng's aura also changed. Just like this, Zhao Feng walked into the capital without any fear. The Flooding Lake City Lord still isn't willing to give up and colluded with the Imperials to put me on the wanted list. But how did he know that I would appear in the capital and come here? Zhao Feng's heart was solemn. After entering the capital, Zhao Feng didn't move immediately. Empress Qin had a high position in the Imperials, and normal true spirit realms couldn't even see her. This matter needed to be planned. Zhao Feng and Heiyun Master first settled in the capital. According to Heiyun Master's suggestion, Zhao Feng prepared to auction off a portion of the useless treasures. The final price would usually be 5% of the profit, but it would save Zhao Feng a lot of trouble. There were several powerful auction houses in the Canopy Great Country. Among them, the largest one was called the Rising Dragon Auction House. It was the most powerful and mysterious, and it was said that it could be found in all the central cities of the continent. Don't worry, the Rising Dragon Auction has nothing to do with the Imperials or the Four Families. Apparently, the headquarters of this auction is in the Middle Continent. Heiyun Master said, "Okay, that's it." Zhao Feng gave this to Heiyun Master. As for the auction, Zhao Feng wasn't interested. Heiyun Master had some connections in the capital and soon found a way for Zhao Feng. The Rising Dragon Auction is held once a month, and it's happening in 3 days. Do you want to attend? It was said that the auction this time was unprecedentedly grand, and there were many powerful spirit rank treasures, including the Crimson Moon Map fragment and the mysterious Heaven Map fragment. Even the upper echelons of the Imperials are coming. Heian Master's tone was excited. Not interested. Wait, Scarlet Moon Incomplete Map? Heaven's Legacy Map? The upper echelons of the Imperials are also coming? Zhao Feng's expression finally changed. He had obtained a Scarlet Moon Incomplete Map from the Scarlet Moon Demonic Cave, and it seemed to have been extorted from the Blood Corpse Protector. As for the Heaven's Legacy Map, Zhao Feng had an inheritance from the Water Moon Pirate. When the time comes, there will definitely be a lot of big shots. The Imperials, 3 sects, 4 families, all the major forces will send their core representatives, and even Empress Sheen will come. I hope that I can get some ancient maps this time. And some of the ancient items from the 4 great inheritances have great research value. Heian Master became more and more excited as he spoke. The Rising Dragon auction was definitely the largest auction in the Canopy Great Country. This auction was the most grand one in the past 100 years. Meow meow. The little thieving cat heard the news and excitedly jumped out of the spiritual pet bag. It was both a little divinity and a little money grubber. This grand auction naturally attracted it. Go in. Zhao Feng reached out and threw the little thieving cat back into the spiritual pet bag. After all, on the wanted poster, Zhao Feng and the little thieving cat were together. Not long later, Zhao Feng saw a youth with a cat being taken away. How about this? I'll go take a look. Zhao Feng finally made his decision. This grand auction would gather all the forces in the Canopy Great Country, and even Empress Sheen might appear. There were also ancient items like the Scarlet Moon Map and Heaven's Legacy Map. Zhao Feng had to be interested in them. The auction would be held in 3 days. In this period of time, Zhao Feng needed to make sufficient preparations. To put it more simply, he needed to prepare enough silver. At that time, if there was something that he was interested in, Zhao Feng wouldn't miss it. Although his God's spiritual eye wasn't the eyes of fire and gold, it was still able to see through things. In these 2 days, Zhao Feng took out the treasures, spiritual materials, pills and items that weren't of much use to him from the Watermoon Treasury and sold them in large batches. He only kept a few items that might be useful in the future. After dealing with them, Zhao Feng's interspatial bracelet was completely filled with primal crystal stones. He also bought 2 large interspatial rings, each the size of a warehouse. At this time, Zhao Feng's capital was extremely large, and he even sold some of the treasures that the Water Moon Pirate had stolen to the Rising Dragon auction. The headquarters of the Rising Dragon auction was in the Middle Continent, and it maintained a neutral position in the Great Country. Therefore, this was a very good place to dispose of stolen goods. Chapter 302. 3 days later, Canopy Great Country Capital, an area where rivers and trees intersected. The environment was quiet and elegant. The Rising Dragon auction wasn't in the most bustling area as expected. Usually, this place was quiet and wasn't as lively as normal auctions. It would be a huge mistake to underestimate the Rising Dragon auction because of this. The reason why there weren't many people here was because the Rising Dragon auction was of a high level. Even the entrance fee was 2,000 low-grade primal crystal stones, which was equivalent to 200,000 substandard primal crystal stones in the cloud area. Furthermore, the items being auctioned here were all worth tens of thousands of primal crystal stones. Normal Ascended Realm experts could only stare. However, the Rising Dragon auction this time was different. It was of a large scale, and many of the items were at the peak of the continent. Spiritual beasts and flying beasts flew through the air. The number of people participating in the Rising Dragon auction this time is several times more than usual. There are pieces of Earth-grade weapons, Demon Slaughtering Blade, Heaven's Legacy Map, 7-Sword Incomplete Manual, and other high-level items. Putting aside normal True Lord ranks, even those at the True Lord rank would go crazy. Oh my god, pieces of Earth-grade weapons? Legends says that an Earth-grade weapon appeared 10,000 years ago and flattened a Lord Dynasty's capital. From then on, Lord Dynasties became a legend. The people entering the auction said in low tones. Treasures and weapons were split into mortal grade, spiritual grade, Earth grade and heaven grade. In the current continent, spiritual grade weapons were extremely rare, and this was only in the prosperous great countries. In some remote areas, they were almost extinct. As for Earth grade and above, they basically didn't exist and only existed in legends. Even in the era of the Scarlet Moon demonic religion, there hadn't been a complete Earth grade weapon. Putting aside Earth grade weapons, the Canopy Great Country didn't even have a few peak spiritual grade weapons. Even if they did, they would be the ultimate treasures of the major forces or even the country. At a certain moment, an azure sharp swallow flew over from the sky, carrying a blue-haired youth and a dark-skinned short elder. Because he was wanted, Zhao Feng disguised himself as a youth, and adding on his cold and experienced aura, it wasn't easy to see through him. Zhao Feng purposely didn't wear an eye patch. With his current control of the god's spiritual eye, he could hide the color of his left eye for half a day. Correspondingly, he had lost most of his god's spiritual eye's abilities. Will there really be a fragment of an Earth-ranked divine weapon appearing in this auction? Zhao Feng couldn't believe it. Not only is there a fragment of an Earth-ranked divine weapon, it is said that there is also an extremely profound, incomplete manual of the Seven Swords, which comes from one of the 4 great legacies of the continent, the Seven Legacies. It is estimated that it is at least an incomplete manual of an Earth-rank cultivation technique. It is said that there will be quite a few secret auction items in this auction, and there will be items from the 4 great inheritances. Heiyun Master's face was filled with excitement and even a bit of fanaticism. An auction of this level was an eye-opener for him, even if he could only witness it with his own eyes. Zhao Feng's heart, which had always been calm, could not help but feel a little restless. The little thieving cat in the spiritual pet bag danced with joy. If it weren't for Zhao Feng stopping it, it would have already jumped up and down. There are too many people in this auction. There are only 1,000 slots. The entrance fee has been raised to 5,000 primal crystal stones. Near the entrance, there were several people responsible for receiving guests. Their cultivations had all reached the true spirit realm, and one of them had even reached the true mystic rank. The main reason for raising the entrance fee was to limit the number of people. The Rising Dragon auction was of a higher level, so there weren't many people that came. But this time, there were too many people who came to participate, so they had to use this method to eliminate some people who only came to watch the show. 5,000 primal crystal stones wasn't a small sum. It was equivalent to 500,000 substandard primal crystal stones, which was a huge sum in the 13 countries. Heiyun Master, this way please. One of the attendants revealed a smile as he welcomed Zhao Feng and Heiyun Master in. Heiyun Master had a VIP card that allowed him to enter the VIP stands of the auction. The VIP stands looked down from above and had a great deal of privacy. If they wanted to, the people outside wouldn't even be able to see their appearance. If it was under normal circumstances, the two of you would be able to enjoy at least a 4-star VIP stand. However, due to the special circumstances, the two of you can only enter a 3-star VIP stand. The receptionist said with a smile. Soon, Zhao Feng and Heiyun Master were arranged to a VIP stand that could fit more than a dozen people. There weren't many VIP stands in the auction, and the higher the rank, the fewer there were. There were dozens of 3-star ones and only a dozen 4-star ones. As for 5-star ones, there were only 4. This was like the ranking system of the ancient sections. The higher one was, the more they would be at the top of the pyramid. 3-star isn't bad. The VIP stand we're in is number 50. Heiyun Master faintly smiled as he looked outside. Because Zhao Feng had chosen to be hidden, there was a layer of transparent glass around the stands that could be seen from the inside, but not from the outside. As time passed, more and more people came to the auction. More than half of the VIP stands were hidden and low profile. Of course, there were also some that were high profile and open to the public as if victory was in their hands. The 4 families Liu, Yunbai, and Tian are all here, including the heads of the Liu family and Tian family. I heard that even the Imperials are here. They're in the 3rd stand. At least one of Empress Sheen or the Emperor will come, since there's an Earth-grade weapon fragment. Number 4 is from the Iron Blood religion, but who are number 1 and 2? The auction hadn't even started yet, and the crowd was already discussing. There were only 4 5-star VIP stands, and the Imperials and Iron Blood religion occupied number 3 and 4. The auction this time was a gathering of many forces and bigwigs from all over the world. It was definitely a grand occasion. Zhao Feng's eyes scanned over and saw that there were almost 100 people at the True Spirit Realm. The number of True Lord ranks could be counted on one hand. After about half an hour, the auction officially began. The entire auction was in a semicircle shape, and everyone was gathered around it. On the stage, there was a plain robed elder at the True Mystic rank and 2 True Human rank beauties beside him. Cough, cough. The first item of the auction will officially begin. The plain-robed elder had a kind expression, and his voice was filled with friendliness. One of the True Human rank beauties took out a chilling ice stone. The ice stone could radiate a cold air and was usually worth tens of thousands of primal crystal stones. However, what was being sold now wasn't the ice stone itself, but a small bottle of liquid sealed within. The ice marrow spiritual liquid comes from one of the 4 great inheritances, the mystic ice inheritance. This liquid can allow a normal person to easily reach the ascended realm. What's most amazing is that it can allow someone without a spiritual body to become a spiritual body. The plain-robed elder introduced ice marrow spiritual liquid from a mystic ice inheritance. An uproar broke out amongst the crowd. Everyone knew that there were hundreds of millions of people on the continent, but those with a spiritual body were extremely rare. For example, Zhao Linlong from the Zhao clan was once the number 1 genius of the Zhao clan, but in the clan world, he was trash and only had a mortal body. Only those with a spiritual body had the chance to break through to the ascended realm. However, talent wasn't always certain. The descendants of experts would obviously have high talent, but it wasn't absolute. Even some descendants of big families might have trash talent and would find it hard to break through to the ascended realm, let alone the true spirit realm. This ice marrow spiritual liquid is indeed magical. It can allow a normal person to easily reach the ascended realm. None of the 4 great inheritances are simple. Zhao Feng was surprised and speechless. Thinking back, he had spent a lot of effort to reach the ascended realm. But in a high-class auction like the Canopy Great Country, a bottle of liquid could change one's fate. Ice marrow spiritual liquid, starting price of 100,000 primal crystal stones. Every raise must be at least 1,000. The plain-robed elder smiled faintly. As soon as he finished speaking, people started to crazily raise the price. I bid 150,000, 160,000, 180,000. The sound of bidding rose and fell. The price of this bottle of ice marrow spirit tempering liquid easily rose to more than 200,000 and was still rising steadily. Many of the elders of the clans had descendants with low talent, and they urgently needed the ice essence spirit tempering liquid to change the fate of their children. Finally, this bottle of ice marrow spiritual liquid was sold for 310,000, which was the price of a low-tier spiritual grade weapon. On the other hand, a spirit rank divine armament was a sect protecting treasure in some small sections. For the Rising Dragon auction house, the first auction item could be considered as opening the door. It cannot be too bad, nor could it be too expensive. Instead, it had to be a little surprising. The second and third items were all rare materials. Although they didn't give off the surprise of the ice marrow spiritual liquid, they were at least peak grade mortal grade weapons. The next 2 auction items were once possessed by the renowned Watermoon pirate all those years ago. The plain-robed elder purposely kept everyone in suspense. Watermoon pirate. There was a slight ripple in the auction. One of them is the Sky Bamboo 9-sound zither. It's a mysterious instrument that can play music that can heal mental injuries. Those with a high level of the Tao of entertainment can use this zither to release fatal sounds that can kill people invisibly. In the past, a master of the Tao of entertainment used this zither to raise the morale of his clan, killing his enemies invisibly and saving his clan from destruction. The plain-robed elder described the history and legend of this item. Hearing this, Zhao Feng was almost dazed. This zither was the item that he had sent to the Rising Dragon auction. At that time, Master Heiyun had estimated that it was close to a spiritual grade weapon. However, he didn't think that the appraiser of the Rising Dragon auction would be so skilled and explain its history and usage. At the same time, the 6th VIP stand broke out into chaos. Sky Bamboo 9 Sound Zither? Isn't this the zither that our Qin Sword sect kept in the past? Later on, this zither was shamelessly stolen by the Water Moon Pirate. I didn't think that the Sky Bamboo 9 Sound Zither would appear in the auction today. We must buy it. The Qin Sword Palace was one of the 3 sects of Canopy Great Country. Sky Bamboo 9 Sound Zither. Starting price of 140,000. Each increment must be no less than 2,000. The plain-robed elder announced. Zhao Feng was filled with anticipation. He wondered how much the item he had entrusted the Rising Dragon auction house would sell for. Chapter 303. 160,000. 170,000. 200,000. In the auction venue, the shouts of bids were incessant. The Sky Bamboo 9 Sound Qin was a treasure of the Qin Sword Palace. Not only was it a sacred item that those that cultivated the Tao of entertainment dreamed of, it also had a certain value. Seeing the price easily break 200,000, a smile appeared on Zhao Feng's face. 300,000. A cold female voice sounded from the 6th stand. She had increased the price by almost 100,000 primal crystal stones at once. There was a brief moment of silence. Many people turned their heads and looked at the 6th VIP stand. The 6th stand belongs to the Qin Sword Palace. The Sky Bamboo 9 Sound Qin also comes from the Qin Sword Palace. Some of the people below who wanted to compete weighed their options, and most of them gave up. The Qin Sword Palace was the same as the Iron Blood religion. They were one of the 3 great sects of the Great Country and were famous in the northern continent. Normal people didn't want to offend a force like the Qin Sword Palace. Furthermore, normal people's wealth couldn't be compared to the Qin Sword Palace. 310,000. 320,000. However, there were a few that liked the Tao of entertainment. Some of the participants had reached the true mystic rank and had a large force behind them, so they weren't afraid of the Qin Sword Palace. For 100,000. The person from the Qin Sword Palace in the 6th stand immediately increased the price by almost 100,000. The crowd became silent once again. At this point in time, even the dumbest person would know that the Qin Sword Palace wanted this treasure no matter what. Most of the people that wanted to compete hesitated. 400,000 low-grade primal crystal stones was equivalent to 40 million substandard primal crystal stones, which was the upper limit of the Qin's value. Any more, and it would be ridiculous. 410,000. A mocking voice came from the 5th VIP stand. Everyone looked over. Who dared to offend the Qin Sword Palace? However, the 5th stand was right next to the 6th. From this, it could be seen that they were on the same level. The higher one's rank was, the stronger they were. The 4th stand belongs to the Wind Cloud sect. No wonder they dare to challenge the Qin Sword Palace. The Wind Cloud sect is also one of the 3 great sects of the Great Country and is famous across the northern continent. Everyone understood. The Wind Cloud sect was one of the 3 major sects, and apparently, they didn't have a good relationship with the Qin Sword Palace. The Qin Sword Palace was closer to the Imperials, while the Wind Cloud sect was closer to the Iron Blood religion. 450,000. The voice from the Qin Sword Palace contained a sliver of unhappiness. 460,000. The voice of the Wind Cloud sect member had a hint of playfulness in it. 560,000. The Qin Sword Palace was determined and increased the price by another 100,000. As a large sect, they were quite wealthy. Meanwhile, in the 6th VIP stand, if the Wind Cloud sect increases the price, what's the point of giving the Sky Bamboo 9-note zither to them? A cold and beautiful fairy dressed in palace attire had a cold look in her eyes. You're right, zither fairy. If the sky bamboo 9 sound zither falls into the hands of someone who doesn't understand the music Tao, it's just a musical instrument collection at best. An expert at the true mystic ranks smiled faintly. This time, the Wind Cloud sect didn't raise the price, as if they just wanted to play with the Chainsword Palace. Finally, the Sky Bamboo 9-note zither was sold for 560,000. Zhao Feng revealed a satisfied smile. Under normal situations, the price of the Sky Bamboo 9-note zither was over 400,000 and 500,000 was already ridiculous. Hee, here's the second treasure of the Water Moon Pirate, the Jade Spiral Mystic Phoenix Crown. The plain-robed elder smiled as he raised his hand. A beauty at the true human rank next to him brought up a phoenix crown. It was jade gold and had an indescribable aura of nobility. Jade Spiral Mystic Phoenix Crown. Isn't this the phoenix crown of the Imperials? Apparently, it's the inheritance of the Empress. The auction broke out into chaos once again. The phoenix crown was the crown of the Empress. This Jade Spiral Mystic Phoenix Crown was the inheritance of the Imperials, and although its value wasn't even comparable to a spiritual-grade weapon, its historical value wasn't simple. The third VIP stand. Ridiculous. Who's so bold to sell the inheritance Phoenix Crown of the Imperials in the capital's auction? Empress, I suggest we find out who's selling the Phoenix Crown. Maybe we'll be able to find the Water Moon Treasury. There were more than 10 people in the third VIP stand, and almost all of their auras had reached the true spirit realm. One of the strongest auras had reached a shocking level and was half a level stronger than the true Lord rank. It's not that simple. The background of the Rising Dragon auction is more terrifying than you can imagine. Even at the peak of the Canopy Great Country, no one dared to touch it. A cold voice sounded. Grand Elder is right. The most important thing right now is to buy the Jade Spiral Mystic Phoenix Crown. Otherwise, it'll leave a stain on the Imperial's name. The third VIP stand soon reached an agreement. At the same time, in the 50th VIP stand. Master, is it really okay to auction the inheritance of the Imperials in the Canopy Great Country? Zhao Feng asked hesitantly. Relax, the background of the Rising Dragon auction isn't simple. Putting aside the Imperials, even the 10 great clans wouldn't dare to touch it. Heian Master smiled and said, the starting price of the Jade Spiral Mystic Phoenix Crown is 200,000 primal crystal stones. Each increment must be no less than 5,000 primal crystal stones. The plain-robed elder announced. 300,000. As soon as he finished speaking, the person from the Imperials in the third VIP stand immediately raised the price by 100,000. There was dead silence in the auction hall. After all, the Imperials was the ruler of the Canopy Great Country in name, and after Empress Qin joined the government, their power was much stronger than normal sections. At this point in time, no one dared to raise the price. Zhao Feng couldn't help but feel depressed. He had originally hoped that the Jade Spiral Mystic Phoenix Crown would sell for a good price. However, looking at the current situation, no one dared to openly challenge the Imperials. Could it be that the Imperials' power had reached the peak of the Canopy Great Country, and they could command the 9 directions? 310,000. An emotionless voice sounded from the fourth VIP stand. The crowd broke into an uproar. The person in the fourth VIP stand was from the Iron Blood religion. In the current Canopy Great Country, it wasn't a secret that the Imperials and Iron Blood religion fought each other. 500,000. The Imperials immediately raised the price by 200,000, and the spectators couldn't help but tremble with excitement. In Canopy Great Country, the 8 superpowers split the world into 8 and ruled over everything else. The Imperials and Iron Blood religion were on equal footing, but there were still some forces that remained neutral and were happy to see this situation. 510,000. An emotionless voice sounded from the Iron Blood religion. Zhao Feng felt that this voice was familiar. It seemed to belong to the blood-colored haired man, Tianma. It's the Deputy Patriarch. The Deputy Patriarch of the Iron Blood religion. Some of the experts at the True Spirit Realm had interacted with Deputy Patriarch Tiamat before. 710,000. The Imperials were rich and immediately raised the price by 200,000. 720,000. The Deputy Patriarch's voice was slightly casual. 810,000. 810,000. No matter how much the Imperials raised the price, the Iron Blood religion would raise the price by another 10,000. With a price of 800,000, it was already considered an excellent low-grade spirit rank divine weapon. Once it reached the middle tier, it would be a rare treasure. As for high-tier spiritual weapons, there weren't many in the entire Canopy Great Country. Esteemed Guest Stand 3. The experts from the Imperials couldn't take it anymore. Grand Elder, Empress, that Tiamat is too shameless. He's trying to ruin us. Why don't we make a move now and stop him? A true Lord rank and several true Mystic ranks suppress their anger. Don't act rashly. That Tiamat's strength is comparable to a half-step Origin Core realm, and after learning the Wheel of Light and Darkness, he's like a tiger with wings. Normal True Lord ranks might even die facing him. Furthermore, this is the Rising Dragon auction. A cold voice sounded and calmed everyone down. 1,210,000. 1,210,000. 2 million. In the end, a sensational price was announced, once again setting off a commotion in the auction. The price of 2 million was almost the same as the price of some mid-grade spirit rank divine weapons. The Jade Spiral Mystic Phoenix Crown itself was only a few tens of thousands of primal crystal stones. The important thing was its historical significance. It's just a broken crown. I'll just give it to you. Seeing this, the Iron Blood religion's side stopped. The auction had just started, and there were only some appetizers. If the two sides really wanted to fight, it wasn't impossible to add tens of millions of primal crystal stones. Seeing Tiamat stop, those from the Imperials let out a breath. 2 million primordial crystal stones to buy back the Phoenix Crown was worth it. Ha ha ha, 2 million primal crystal stones. Zhao Feng couldn't help but laugh. The Jade Spiral Mystic Phoenix Crown was useless to him. He originally wanted to sell it for a few 100,000 primal crystal Phoenix Crown, but he didn't expect it to be sold for such a high price. After the Jade Spiral Mystic Phoenix Crown, the atmosphere of the auction exploded. The next few items went for at least a few 100,000 to over 1 million. The esteemed guests here are all people with status and vision. You should know that some rare treasures and divine weapons are hard to forge with the Azure Flower Continent's current level of forging and formations. Therefore, most middle-tier spiritual grade treasures and above don't come from the Azure Flower Continent. The plain-robed old man smiled happily and explained. When Zhao Feng heard this, his eyes narrowed. If it didn't come from the Azure Flower Continent, then where did it come from? The 4 great legacies on the continent, in essence, are just a coordinate entrance on the continent. For example, the Heaven's Legacy Inheritance, Seven Sword Inheritance, etc. are all in the vast outer space. Hearing this, only a small portion of the people present were surprised. Most of the people who entered the Rising Dragon auction had high statuses and horizons in the big countries. In this auction, the treasures from the 4 great inheritances will appear one by one. Previously, it was the Ice Marrow spiritual liquid from the Mystic Ice inheritance that was ranked 4th. And this time, it will be an elite divine weapon from the 3rd rank Scarlet Moon inheritance. After saying this, the plain-robed elder waved his hand. The true human rank beauty next to him soon brought out an item. When Zhao Feng's eyes saw this item, his expression changed dramatically. Chapter 304. A scarlet sword was placed on the plate. The patterns on its surface were precise and simple, and there was a faint layer of blood flowing on it. Even some experts of the true human rank were affected by the limitless killing intent, and their hearts shook when they touched the blood sword. What a terrifying aura! Even the spiritual sense of those at the true human rank didn't dare to get too close to the blood-colored sword. From the aura, it seemed that this blood-colored sword was close to the high-tier spiritual grade. The Blood Moon Devouring Spirit Sword is the famous blood-devouring demon sword of the Scarlet Moon demonic religion era. Although it hasn't reached the spirit rank upper grade, it can absorb the blood of living beings to replenish its owner's blood essence and yuan qi. When the quality and quantity of the blood of the living beings killed reach a certain level, it can erupt with power comparable to the spirit rank upper grade. The plain-robed elder introduced. His eyes were filled with infatuation as he looked at the Blood Moon Devouring Spirit Sword. It can be said to be a perfect piece of work. The ability to devour blood increases the owner's stamina and power. It's comparable to a high-tier spiritual grade weapon. Simply put, it only consumes less than a middle-tier spiritual grade weapon, but has the power of a high-tier spiritual grade weapon. When the origin and effect of this sword was revealed, the crowd broke out into chaos. Even the true Lord rank experts revealed excitement in their eyes. What's going on? When I first got this sword, it was clearly a broken sword, and it was only a low-tier spiritual grade weapon. How come it's complete now? Zhao Feng was stunned. That's right, this Blood Moon Devouring Spirit Sword was what Zhao Feng had extorted from the Blood Corpse Protector. What he had obtained back, then, was a broken blood-colored sword which he had given to the Broken Moon clan as a reward. As for why this Blood Moon Devouring Spirit Sword was auctioned off in the northern continent and how it was pieced together, Zhao Feng had no idea. It was easy to imagine how the weapon was pieced together. Maybe it was because they found the other half and had a Grandmaster blacksmith refine it. Why did the Blood Moon Devouring Spirit Sword come here? What happened to the Broken Moon clan and the 13 countries? Zhao Feng couldn't help but worry. He had some feelings for the Broken Moon clan and the place he grew up in. The starting price of the Blood Moon Devouring Spirit Sword is 6 million. Each increment must be at least 500,000. The plain-robed elder announced. The starting price of 6 million was already the highest starting price so far. One must know that an ordinary medium-grade divine weapon would only cost 3 to 4 million. However, the Blood Moon Devouring Spirit Sword's consumption was lower than that of a medium-grade divine weapon, but it could increase the power of a high-grade spiritual weapon. It couldn't be measured with common sense. This Blood Moon Devouring Spirit Sword is at least on par with your 3 flowered treasured lotus. I estimate that it will sell for 10 to 20 million primal crystal stones. Heian Grandmaster smiled. Zhao Feng nodded slightly. He would wait and see how much the Blood Moon Devouring Spirit Sword would sell for. His 3 flowered treasured lotus would probably be about the same. 8 million. 5 million. 10 million. This divine weapon was immediately sought after by many experts. The Iron Blood religion, the Wind Cloud sect, the 4 great families, and even the Imperials all participated in the intense bidding. Right from the start, the price of the Blood Moon Devouring Spirit Sword was raised to 10 million primordial crystal stones. This price was enough to buy at least 2 middle-grade divine weapons. Low-grade spirit-ranked divine weapons were usually worth hundreds of thousands of spirit-ranked divine weapons. Only high-quality divine weapons were worth millions. Middle-grade spiritual weapons were 10 times more expensive. High-grade spiritual weapons were 10 times more expensive. Once it reached the high-grade spiritual weapon, it would be extremely rare in the entire northern continent. Of the Water Moon 4 treasures, the Water Moon God Peach Fan was close to the high-grade spiritual weapon. The 3 flower treasured lotus was equivalent to a normal high-grade spiritual weapon. The Blood Moon Devouring Spirit Sword didn't reach the high-grade spiritual weapon, but it easily broke through the 10 million mark. 16 million. 17 million. 20 million. When the price reached 20 million, most people gave up. Number 3 VIP stand the Imperials. Forget it. It's a medium-grade divine weapon after all. Only after a large amount of slaughter can it reach the high-grade spiritual weapon's power. This divine weapon is suitable for those of the demonic Tao. Never mind. We'll gather our wealth and buy the Demon Destroyer Blade. That's right. The Demon Destroyer Blade is above average among the high-grade spiritual weapons. It counters the demonic Tao and is suitable for the bloodline of the Imperials. The Imperials gave up on the Blood Moon Devouring Spirit Sword. Finally, The Blood Moon Devouring Spirit Sword was bought by the Iron Blood religion for 22 million. I didn't think that the broken sword could be sold for such a high price after being pieced together. Zhao Feng couldn't help but sigh. But it wasn't rare for a divine weapon to have a price difference of 10 times with every increase in rank. He couldn't help but think of the 5-elemental piercing crystal in his hand. The 5-elemental piercing crystal was a special material that could increase a low-grade spiritual weapon's rank by half. If it was combined with other high-grade materials, it could even increase it by 1 rank. The 5-elemental yuan crystal can increase the explosive power of almost all divine weapons. Combined with the 5-elemental piercing crystal, it can increase a low-grade spiritual weapon's rank by more than 1 rank. The plain-robed elder said with a smile, 5-elemental yuan crystal. Zhao Feng's eyes lit up. Whatever he needed, he got it. The 5-elemental piercing crystal increased sharpness, cutting power, hardness, and quality, etc. On the other hand, the 5-elemental yuan crystal increased true force's explosiveness and destruction. The 5-elemental yuan crystal, or 5-elemental piercing crystal, is extremely rare, and they're all low-grade. However, they can increase the quality of most divine weapons and are still priceless. The plain-robed elder added. From his words, it could be seen that both the 5-elemental yuan crystal and 5-elemental piercing crystal were extremely rare. Not to mention, too, even one of them wasn't easy to obtain. The starting price of the 5-elemental yuan crystal is 800,000. Each increment must be no less than 50,000. The plain-robed elder announced. To be able to increase the quality of a low-grade spiritual weapon's power by half a rank, the starting price of 800,000 was definitely not excessive. 900,000, 1 million. There were many experts competing for the 5-elemental yuan crystal, and most of them were at the true human rank or true mystic rank. Among them, one of the 4 major clans, the Bai clan and the Iron Blood religion, were both participating. The Bai family here was the main branch of the Bai family, which was 2 ranks higher than the branch family of the Transverse Water Bay. When the price of the 5-elemental yuan crystal exceeded 2 million, the Bai family gave up. After all, a middle-grade spiritual weapon was only worth a few million primal crystal stones. 2,300,000. Zhao Feng decided to give a try. Right now, the main competitor was the Iron Blood religion. Many people glanced towards esteemed guest stand 50. In the previous auctions, the other esteemed guest stands had participated. Only esteemed guest stand 50 was very quiet, as if there was no one there. Who dares to compete with the Iron Blood religion? Many people snickered coldly. However, the weird thing was that after Zhao Feng made his bid, the Iron Blood religion quickly gave up. The plain-robed elder was slightly weird and announced that Zhao Feng would get the 5-elemental yuan crystal. Hee, brat, you've also come? A voice sounded in Zhao Feng's mind. Zhao Feng jumped up in fright. It's you, Lord Tianma. Zhao Feng recognized the owner of the voice and let out a breath. He didn't think that Tianma's senses would be so strong that his voice could pass through the special materials and arrays of the esteemed guest stand. An esteemed guest stand 4. A crimson-haired man was sitting upright with a smile on his face. Deputy Patriarch, you seem to place a lot of importance on this Zhao Feng. The ancient robed elder next to him was the protector of the Iron Blood religion that had sent a message to Zhao Feng. His eye bloodline is very special, and he has great potential. Most importantly, he's helped me greatly. The blood-haired male smiled faintly. Many people's jaws dropped when esteemed guest stand 50 easily obtained the 5-elemental yuan crystal and made the Deputy Patriarch give up. Soon, Zhao Feng obtained the 5-elemental yuan crystal and thought in his heart, with the 5-elemental yuan crystal and the 5-elemental yuan crystal, I can't consider which weapon to increase in power and quality. The auction was still going on. Sometimes, the items that were up for auction were low, and other times they would rise again. In this period of time, even Heian Master made a move and bid for some ancient blueprints or items. The only thing that made Zhao Feng regretful was that as God's spiritual, I still hadn't found a chance to pick up a few scraps. The appraiser of the Rising Dragon auction was obviously very skilled, and it was impossible for a rare treasure to be used as a brick. Furthermore, items that weren't up to the standard couldn't even be auctioned. Next is a rare item called the Fortune Divination Ancient Coin that comes from the Heaven's Legacy Inheritance. The plain-robed elder raised his hand. Soon, a rusty coin appeared on the tray of the true human-rank beauty next to him. Meow meow. The little thieving cat in the spiritual pet bag instantly became restless and jumped out. Zhao Feng expressionlessly pressed the little money grubber back in. After some discussion, Zhao Feng agreed to help the little thieving cat buy the Fortune Divination Ancient Coin. However, the prerequisite was that Zhao Feng only bid 1,000,000 primal crystal stones and didn't exceed this limit. The little thieving cat nodded its head. Under normal situations, a divination item like the Fortune Divination Ancient Coin shouldn't be sold for a high price. The Fortune Divination Ancient Coin starts at 400,000 and each increment must be no less than 30,000. The plain-robed elder announced. 450,000. 480,000. Voices came from the auction. There weren't many people paying attention to this coin. Finally, only the Tian family, imperial family, and an old man were still participating. 800,000. Zhao Feng immediately raised the price to 800,000. The auction went silent. The Tian family gave up. The old man glanced at VIP, stand number 50, and sighed. At this moment in time, only Zhao Feng and the Imperials were competing for this coin. Empress, I heard that you've comprehended the Tao of life. Seems like it's true. A figure at the true mystic rank smiled faintly. This Fortune Divination Ancient Coin comes from the Heaven's Legacy Inheritance and is extremely rare. I've only dabbled a bit in the Tao of Life Inheritance. A soft voice with a fatal magnetism attracted one's heart and made one's thoughts run wild. 1,000,000. This voice was like a hot spring that softened one's emotions. In that instant, the auction became deathly silent. Many people were unable to extricate themselves from that voice. There was a lingering feeling in their minds that lingered for a long time. Empress Qin. Some of the experts at the true spirit realm took a deep breath. Chapter 305. 1,000,000. This seductive voice caused Zhao Feng's heart to soften. He actually felt an inexplicable sense of pity and unwillingness. The hearts of the experts present were about to melt. There is a saying, even heroes have a weakness for beauties. No matter how strong a man was, they couldn't resist the smile of a beauty. Furthermore, the owner of this voice was the #1 beauty of Canopy Great Country, Empress Qin. Empress Qin, I've finally found you. Zhao Feng couldn't help but take a deep breath as his body trembled. Meow meow. The little thieving cat in the spiritual pet bag was slightly anxious. Empress Qin had bid 1,000,000, and no one else was bidding. According to the agreement between Zhao Feng and the little thieving cat, Zhao Feng would stop if it exceeded 1,000,000. Whoosh! The little thieving cat opened its mouth and spat out a spiritual-grade weapon. It was a low-grade spiritual-grade weapon, and it was probably worth close to 1,000,000. This was the little thieving cat's personal stash. In the Rising Dragon auction, if one didn't have enough primal crystal stones, they could use other treasures to exchange for it. Okay. A smile appeared on Zhao Feng's face. He had the same intention. 1,100,000. Zhao Feng was full of confidence and immediately added 100,000. Everyone in the auction hall was shocked and surprised. What kind of background did the person in the 50th stand have? First, he fought with the Iron Blood religion, and now he fought with the royal family. Where did this brat come from? He dares to compete with the Empress? This is the first time the Empress has bid. How can she admit defeat? Many experts from the Imperials harumphed unhappily in stand 3. 115. 1,200,000. Zhao Feng and Empress Qin couldn't see each other, but they were competing through their voices. Empress Qin's voice was clear, gentle, and seductive like the best music in the world. On the other hand, Zhao Feng's voice was cold and emotionless. Gradually, even Empress Qin couldn't help but be curious. The owner of the voice wasn't very old, maybe around 20 years old, but he was able to resist her charming, soft voice. If it was someone else, even if they only heard Empress Qin's voice, they would be too embarrassed to compete. 1. 8 million. Zhao Feng's voice was cold and firm, without the slightest hesitation. In the third spectator stand, Empress Qin sighed, "Fine, I don't specialize in the Tao of Fate, so it's fine to give this coin to you." That voice made one feel unbearable and ashamed, wishing that they could immediately give the fortune-telling copper coin to her. In reality, with the imperial strength, it would be hard for Zhao Feng to win if Empress Qin insisted on fighting for the coin. However, the royal family's financial resources were focused on more important things. The price of nearly 2 million far exceeded the value of this collectible. If I can witness the beauty of the princess, what harm is there in giving you this small, fortune-telling ancient coin? Zhao Feng laughed. As soon as these words were spoken, a commotion broke out in the auction hall. This brat isn't afraid of death. Is he courting Empress Qin in front of so many people? Luckily, the Emperor of the Canopy Great Country isn't here, or else there'd be a good show to watch. Zhizha, Empress Qin's charm is indeed not small, spending nearly 2 million just to see her face. Zhao Feng's words caused a commotion. Meow meow. The little thieving cat bared its teeth in disdain, feeling angry and dissatisfied with Zhao Feng's actions. In the third spectator stand. All right, once the auction is over, you can come see me with the ancient fortune coin. Empress Qin's sweet voice contained a playful tone. It's a deal. Zhao Feng didn't refuse. He thought that with Empress Qin's intelligence, it shouldn't be hard for her to see that he was trying to see her. That so-called fortune-divining ancient coin was just a gimmick. After the coin was auctioned, the next items became more and more valuable, easily reaching millions or tens of millions. Star Darkness Sword, a divine weapon refined from mysterious material, and its quality is at the high grade of the spirit rank. It's capable of concealing itself at night, causing it to be soundless, and it's even capable of drawing upon the energy of the stars, causing it to possess peerless might. Where it came from, 7 Sword Inheritance. High-tier, spiritual grade weapon from the 7 Sword Inheritance. This was definitely an important treasure. Even those at the True Lord rank were filled with excitement. The 7 Sword Inheritance was ranked second amongst the 4 great inheritances and specialized in the Tao of the Sword. In the era of the Scarlet Moon demonic religion, Sword Saint Yi Wuxia had received the recognition of the 7 Sword Inheritance. He had comprehended a powerful sword intent and could slash apart rivers with one sword and destroy everything with one thought. The death of the Scarlet Moon religion patriarch had a lot to do with this person. However, the 4 great inheritances were too big, and it was impossible for one person to control all of them. This was the same for the Scarlet Moon inheritance. The Star Darkness sword came from the 7 Sword Inheritance, and its offense was extremely strong. The starting price of the Star Darkness sword is 20 million, and each increment must be 1 million. The plain-robed elder waved his hand. The starting price was 20 million. A threshold directly blocked the majority of the bidders. Only transcendental existences, such as the 8 superpowers, were qualified to participate in the competition. After intense competition, in the end, the Star Nether Sword was sold to the Qin Sword Palace for a price of nearly 70 million origin crystal stones. 70 million. Zhao Feng's heart shook. Every level of spiritual grade weapons had a price difference of more than 10 times. High-tier spiritual grade weapons were basically the peak weapons in the continent. As for peak-tier spiritual grade weapons, Zhao Feng hadn't heard of them before. However, the Wheel of Light and Darkness could surpass high-tier spiritual grade weapons in terms of sharpness and power. Zhao Feng originally thought that there wouldn't be a new peak after the Star Darkness sword. Unexpectedly, after this divine weapon, the 4th divine weapon broke a new record. Demon Slaughter Blade, high-tier spiritual grade. It came from the Dagwang Lord dynasty 10,000 years ago. Everyone knows that the Dagwang Lord dynasty was destroyed in one night. From then on, the Lord dynasty became a legend. This demon slaughterer blade was a weapon left behind by the Dagwang Imperials. Apparently, its original grade could have reached peak tier spiritual grade. However, after that calamity, it dropped to the high tier spiritual grade. The plain-robed elder started to talk. The power of the demon slaughterer blade itself was peerless and could suppress demons and ghosts. It was also peak tier spiritual grade. It came from the Dagwang Lord dynasty and had a high historical value. It even contained the secrets of the Lord dynasty's destruction. Demon slaughterer blade, starting price of 25 million. The plain-robed elder's face was red. 30 million, 40 million, 45 million. After a while, the demon slaughterer blade was pushed to a high price of 70 million and was finally won by the Imperials for 72 million. After that, the entire auction was filled with excitement. Rare spiritual artifacts and spiritual cultivation techniques that were rarely seen in the outside world appeared one after another. Heavenly Secret Map, 48 of them in the world. Each one can comprehend some secrets of the Heavenly Secret Inheritance. With enough Heavenly Secret Maps, there is a chance to calculate the next time the Heavenly Secret Inheritance will appear. Scarlet Moon Map Fragment, 108 of them can open the Scarlet Moon Inheritance and reach the height of the Scarlet Moon Patriarch. The plain-robed elder auctioned the Heavenly Secret Map and Scarlet Moon Map Fragment at the same time. Among them, there were 18 Heavenly Secret Maps, each with 100 of them, starting price of 50,000. Scarlet Moon Map Fragment, 68 Heavenly Secret Maps, each with 100 of them, starting price of 20,000. Whether it was the Heavenly Secret Maps or the Scarlet Moon Map Fragment, they were a type of information that could only be used once with spiritual sense. Collect. Zhao Feng thought about it and decided not to. In the end, the Heavenly Secret Maps and Scarlet Moon Map Fragment were sold for a high price. Each Heavenly Secret Map was sold for an average of 120,000. The Scarlet Moon Map Fragment was sold for an average of 50,000. Even Heiyun Grandmaster couldn't help but bid for 10 Heavenly Secret Maps. Zhao Feng was indifferent to this. Fortune was something that could only be found by luck. It didn't mean that you would be able to open the inheritance just by collecting these things. After the Scarlet Moon Map Fragment and Heavenly Secret Map were sold, the auction entered its final critical moment. Everyone knew that the finale of this auction was the Earth-ranked Divine Armament Fragment and the Seven-Sword Incomplete Manual. The Seven-Sword Incomplete Manual comes from the Seven-Sword Inheritance's Sword Dao Sacred Manual. It seems to be related to Sword Venerable Yi Wuxia. Apparently, even experts at the True Lord rank would find it hard to comprehend it. Judging from its grade, it's an Earth grade skill, but because it's incomplete, it's at least at the peak spiritual grade. The first to appear was the Seven-Sword Fragment Manual. The starting price of the Seven-Sword Fragment Manual is 30 million primal crystal stones. As soon as this was said, the crowd went wild once again. 50 million, 65 million, 80 million. It only calmed down when the price of the Seven-Sword Fragment Manual reached 80 million. At this point in time, only the Imperials, Iron Blood Religion, Qin Sword Palace, and Tian family were still bidding. 100 million. Please give me some face. A clear male voice sounded from the first esteemed guest stand. The first esteemed guest stand. Everyone's gazes turned over. At this moment in time, even the upper echelons of the Imperials and Iron Blood Religion had solemn expressions. The crowd fell into a momentary silence. A strange atmosphere began to spread in the air. Who is this person? Why does he want everyone to give him face? Why? Some of the people below were unhappy. Although 100 million was a high price, it was almost the limit of the major forces. Wasn't this person being too arrogant? Greetings, Mystic Sword Sovereign. The plain-robed old man took a deep breath and bowed respectfully in the direction of the first guest stand. Origin Core Realm. Boom. The crowd broke into chaos. Is it real or fake? There are Origin Core realms in this continent. Could it be an act? If an origin core realm were to take action, even the Canopy Palace wouldn't be able to handle it. Some were suspicious, some were respectful, and some were excited. Legend said that origin core realm sovereigns had the power to destroy heaven and earth. They didn't put a strong country or the 8 super forces in their eyes. Their words could affect heaven and earth. However, at this moment in time, the Imperials and Iron Blood religion all remained silent. Finally, no one competed. A black-clothed young man walked out from the first VIP area. He had a majestic aura about him. With one step, he arrived on the auction stage. With the next step, he disappeared. The 7-sword fragment manual disappeared as well. Farewell, Sovereign. The plain-robed elder bowed as an interspatial ring appeared in his hand. By the time the true Lord rank experts spread their spiritual sense, there was no sign of the mystic sword sovereign. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.